Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eye. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to the Bible Guy Show. This is the Bible Guy coming at you live from Northeast Texas. I forgot to look at how dark it is in here. I totally forgot to turn on my my spotlight thing. Silly me. Much better. M says you're Texan. I am Texan. Absolutely. So everyone, make sure you are tapping that screen, sharing the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations. And I still have the filter on, don't I? On YouTube, on TikTok. How funny. Anyways, guys, let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy, coming at you live from Northeast Texas, and I'm an atheist who knows the Bible better than most Christians, especially most Christians on TikTok. Most Christians on TikTok do not know the Bible all that well, but I guess we'll find out in a second. Hello.
Hi.
Question.
I can hear myself.
I don't know if that's on my end. Anyways, can you talk now and see if you can hear yourself?
Testing. Yeah, I still can. Thank you, Glitter.
I don't think that's on my end.
I could try. Hold on.
Yeah, here, let's get this box situation figured out too.
Test. Oh, I can still hear myself.
I'll ask the audience. Audience, do y'all have an echo on the part of Ashlyn right now?
Testing.
See, most Christian is a bar. Carol says yes. Dark Elf says no. I'm getting a bunch of nopes from the YouTube comments as well. I think it must just be on your end, Ash. Before we get moving with the show, I'm going to read some super chats because we've already got some super chats right off the bat. Love to see that. Thank you so much, everybody. Much appreciated. With at Game Master Flash with the $10. 10 spot for question 4. Keep killing it, Dalton and Ashland. I'd like to think of Duncan as your final form when you take the gloves off and really show them the truth they won't admit. Oh yeah. I rip off the cocoon that is Dalton and I shed to my final form, which is Duncan. And Duncan doesn't fuck around. Duncan does sound like the name of a bodyguard or something like that, doesn't it? All right, and at Michael Howard with the $20 saying, "Can we get a whole Bible Guy music video? It would be amazing." You know, one day, Michael, when we're making a bit more cash flow around here, maybe we'll invest in a Bible Guy music video. That would be some crazy shit. Ashlyn, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well. I still have an echo. Hold on, let me come back.
Yeah. Leo says, no one will ever logically prove that Jesus is God. You need faith in order to do so. Yeah, and faith is not a good method for getting to the truth. Faith is useless. At least it's useless for anyone who is actually interested in knowing as many true things as possible. Hello, welcome back.
I was gone for so long. I still have an echo. I think it's on your end.
No one else hears it. Only you.
There was a bunch of yeses in TikTok earlier.
didn't see any yeses. I got a no from me. The only one who said yes was Kirill. There's a bunch of no's.
That's weird.
No echo. No echo. Yeah, it's 100% on your end. Let's see. She may be hallucinating it. Auditory hallucination? I don't think. I hope not.
I definitely not.
All right, we're gonna bring in our.
But it's
first
lower now.
All right, we're gonna bring in our first guest for the day, Satrohan Mohan Lal. Satrohan, I'm gonna ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
I'm sorry, I don't know how to reach up here. I'm just, I'm a spectator. I'm just watching.
Oh, okay.
I don't
No
meant to
problem.
be up here.
I got you. That's too bad. Hopefully we'll get some opposition in here shortly. It shall shortly come to pass. Well, hopefully when I say that will come shortly to pass, it's not like what Christians mean when they say shortly, which means 2,000 years from now. Because, words and meaning words and all that kind of stuff. Woot Ashland's box from Social Federist. Her volume is really high, but sounds clear.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you are really, a lot louder than normal on my end.
Did I accidentally turn up my...
Leo says faith is what comes after evidence ends. Yep. Well, I mean...
Test?
No.
Oh, okay. I accidentally turned my thing up all the way. I forgot what it's called.
I knew it. Anyways, no, yeah. So, faith is what happens when you don't have any evidence. That's what faith is. Faith isn't what comes after the evidence. It's what comes in the place of evidence. Hello, Rebel Apostate. Good to see you in the comment section. I want to ask a question and know your opinion on a Bible passage, please. Well, Kirill, ask your question. Come on up and ask your question. I'm more than okay with taking in non-opposition or like regulars until we get some opposition in here. Aaron says, "Am I muted?" You are not muted, Aaron. Aaron. I am seeing you. I was supposed to say loud and clear. I am seeing you clearly. Did you see the shitty Kevin Costner presents the first Christmas the other night? It was kind of hilarious. No, I haven't. I don't spend a lot of time watching shitty Christian movies anymore, but I am considering making a separate Bible Guy watch sort of episodes where I sit down and do reactions to shitty Christian films and give my take on them, and I'll let you guys decide whether or not that's something you'd be interested in watching. What have you been up to today? Ashland?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, what have you been up to today?
I got food with a friend.
What'd you have?
I might go to school for stenography. So I called you.
Stenography?
Yeah. They make like $80K in New York State.
Really?
What
made you decide to invest in that?
I've just been looking for something, and that's close to law, and I was considering law school, but I still have a freaking echo. It's gonna bother me. I think I'm stuck with it. I don't care. Yeah.
We're gonna bring in our first guest for the day, Hutu. That name sounds familiar. Have you been up here before?
What's up, the Bible Guy? I can't remember, maybe.
Well, just so I can get a reminder for everyone, I'm going to ask you the same 4 standard questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you read?
Uh, a lot of it. I don't know how much exactly, but a lot of it.
All right. And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, who to? He, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Which one of the 6 topics here would you like to discuss with me?
Oh man. Um. Well, I think without God, morals don't even exist. So probably not the last one. Um.
If you say so.
I mean, 2 Timothy 3:16 takes care of the first one.
No, it doesn't.
John 1 takes care of Jesus was not God.
No,
I
it
don't know.
doesn't.
I mean, all these are kind of easy.
Second Timothy 3:16 doesn't say what you think it says. It doesn't prove that the Bible is inspired. And even if it was saying that the Bible was inspired, a book making a claim doesn't tell me anything about the rest of the books.
Jesus was not the Messiah. Isaiah 7, you could, and 53,
Nope.
you could get that from both of those.
Here,
probably.
pick one. Here, instead
Jesus
of
did not raise from the dead. All of the
instead
Gospels would get rid of that one.
I'm just gonna mute you so you can hear what I'm saying. Instead of pretending like you already have an answer to the 6 points and like skipping through the conversation, how about you pick one and you have the conversation with me? How about that?
I'm just trying to pick one where you'll have stand any chance.
I will stand. I don't think you'll be able to stand any chance on any of the 6 points. So you just pick one, whatever one you think you're the best at, and we'll go to that one.
Let's go. The Bible's not anti-abortion. I don't think I've talked to anyone about that on these lives. Does Justin have a script y'all run for that?
This isn't a script. This is just like, what does the Bible say? Does the Bible say anything against abortion?
Yeah.
What?
Well, we know that it's a sin to commit murder, right?
Murder? Well, you'd have to demonstrate that the termination of a fetus would be considered murder in the eyes of the Bible. Are you going to be able to do that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead. Make your case.
Yeah, so what species is a fetus?
Human. The body is human.
Okay.
But
so
does the Bible consider just the killing of any human for any reason a murder?
Well, I'm going to get there. I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page with our terms. So a fetus is a human.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. And what is the definition of murder?
The unjustified killing of an individual.
Okay. So what would make something justified?
The question is not what we consider this. The question is what the Bible considers this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Does the
Bible consider a fetus? Yes. As far as I'm aware, the term species is not in the text. Is it, Dalton?
Nope.
Okay, so that's not what we're going to use to compare things, are we? We're going to look at probably the laws, right? So is there a law that specifically talks about fetuses and the way in which you are trying to argue? Yeah, which one?
Yeah, well, we already established that fetuses are humans, and there are laws that you should not commit murder, which is killing humans. So,
does the Bible ever say that the termination of a fetus is considered murder?
Does it say that he knitted you together in your mother's womb as a human being?
It says that about Jeremiah, but that doesn't tell me whether or not
if Jeremiah is a human, right?
That doesn't tell me whether or not, like, if Jeremiah's mother would have ended the pregnancy early, if that would have been considered murder. All that tells me is that the human body is created by God in the womb. It doesn't tell me whether or not, like, to end the pregnancy would be considered murder.
Does God say it's bad to murder a human body?
Well, to murder not a human body, but a person. It's wrong to murder a person. And the question is,
which is a human body, right?
No, not always. Like,
well,
for example,
answer the question.
Let me help you. Let me help. The answer is no.
Wait, no.
The answer is no.
Are you dodging my question?
No, I'm not. I'm answering it right now. If you listen.
Well, you're wrong. I can show you. I can show you where it says God says it's.
And I'll answer your question first, and then you can respond. How about that? So, does the Bible consider just a human body to be a person? So my question to you is, prior to Adam receiving the breath of life, was he a person? Yes or no?
No.
So according to the Bible, when does an individual become a nefesh chaya, a living soul?
Well, human beings in general, as soon as God breathed life into his nostrils, every human being following that instance
at first breath.
was
So at
a
first breath.
human being created in the image of God. No.
Here,
Not at each
let me make this
first
easier for
breath
you.
into Adam.
Let me make this easier for you. Maybe you're not able to follow with this conversation. So let me make this easier for you. I'll ask you a question. Hutu, according to the Pentateuch, the law of Moses, what is the penalty for murder? What happens to you if you murder somebody?
Your life will be required of you.
All right. What, according to the Pentateuch, because there is an example of this, what happens if you perform an action that results in the death of a fetus?
I'm not sure.
Well,
I love how you know. Hold on. I love how you know Exodus 20. What is it? I think that's verse 14. It's like 14 or 15, but you don't know Exodus 21, 22 through 25, which is where this pertains to.
I'd never claimed to have memorized every verse in Scripture.
Okay, well, but you are making claims based on this, right? So
no, I'm answering questions based on Scripture.
No, you're making claims about this. Yes, you are.
Right.
If you understand
questions based on Scripture,
you're making claims. You're making a claim that the Bible is against abortion. That is a claim that you are making, and it directly pertains to the passages that I'm mentioning that you seem to have no idea about. Exodus 20 in the 10 Commandments, I think it's like 14 or 15. Yeah, and he's pulling it up. This is the chapter directly after that.
Exodus,
and it tells you what's going on.
Guys, you're making this way too difficult. Way too difficult.
No, I'm not.
You're being a bit too simple-minded. Now I'm going to read the Bible.
Within like 3 questions.
I'm going to read the Bible. So shut your mouth while I'm reading the scriptures, because be respectful to your own God or whatever. When men strive together,
you're not my God.
No, I'm not your God. I'm talking about the author of your book. Apparently, is your God. So be respectful to him and shut up when I'm reading.
No, you're
your
pivoting.
Holy text. I'm not pivoting. You're not listening, obviously. When men strive together and hurt a woman with child, so that there is a miscarriage, and yet no harm follows, the one who hurt her shall be fined, according as the woman's husband shall lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. So, Hutu, according to the Pentateuch, what is the penalty for performing an action that results in the death of a fetus?
For people under the Old Covenant?
I did. According to the Pentateuch, because you quoted to me, you said, "Thou shalt not murder." That's in the book of Exodus. So I'm quoting to you. Well, we can get to that in a second. But according to the law, to the scriptures here, what is the penalty for the termination of a fetus?
I'm not talking about Old Covenant abortion. I'm talking about current day.
Answer according to the scriptures here, because you're not.
There's nothing about it. There's no new covenant about abortion.
Yeah, there's nothing in the New Testament.
The Bible actually doesn't. It has zero stance on abortion. There's not a single stance on the Bible on it.
Yeah. So Hutu, I'll ask you again. I'm going to keep asking you until you answer the question. According to Exodus 21 verse 22, what is the penalty for an action that results in the death of a fetus?
I just said pay the judges twice, and you muted me after both times.
So you pay.
So clearly, you're not listening.
You pay a penalty. Well, you're not the one listening. So you pay a penalty. So premise number one, according to the Pentateuch, the penalty for murder is capital punishment. Premise number two, according to the Pentateuch, the penalty for the death of a fetus is the paying of a fine. Conclusion. See if you can finish. You can figure out the conclusion. What's the conclusion from that?
Hold on. The huge caveat here is this is for people under the Old Covenant, not current day.
We don't. Okay. Do you have anything in the New Testament that gives us an example of what happens to an individual who is a fetus terminated in the womb?
Oh, there's plenty of things in the New Testament that talk about murder. Yeah,
I didn't.
Plenty.
Well, that's presupposing.
That's what abortion is.
Well, no, Hutu, you haven't been able to. You're not able to biblically justify that stance. Biblically justify.
I sure can. Every time I try, you mute me.
From the Bible, justify that the death of a fetus is considered murder. Go ahead.
Yeah, every time I do, you try and pivot or mute me.
You haven't done it yet.
Try it again. So I can try it. I'll try it again.
All right.
start
From the
over.
Bible.
We
We'll
haven't
make it-
pivot. We've
Yeah.
remained on topic this entire time. I don't think you know what a pivot is.
No,
Yeah.
every time I try and make a point, you pivot to a new verse in Exodus.
Well, no, we are trying. We're not pivoting by quoting the Bible to you. We are staying on point. Now, can you make an argument from the Bible, specifically from the Bible, that the death of a fetus is considered murder? Not through some philosophical argument, but from the Bible. Can you make that argument? Go ahead, Hutu.
Sure. Let's make sure we're on the same page as far as our terms go. We still agree that a fetus is a human being, right?
Sure, but I don't think that just the killing of any human being is murder.
Okay,
So
right.
can you justify?
the unjust.
Yeah, can you
Brother,
justify it from the
if
Bible?
you keep talking, no, I can't do anything.
Go ahead and do it, Hutu. Cry some
cry
more.
harder.
Brother, I'm. You can call it crying every time.
Okay, you're going to answer the question. Can you justify from the Bible that the termination of a fetus is murder?
So, not based on our definitions, based on biblical understanding, because we've given you an example of where in the Pentateuch children are considered property. They are not considered human beings.
Fetuses are property.
Or sorry, well, children are also property, but like different types of property. Fetuses are considered, it's more of a property crime than it is a human being, because that's how the ancient Israelites would have seen this issue.
All right, we'll try again. See how many sentences we can get in. A fetus is a human being. We see all throughout Scripture, Old Testament and New Testament, that it is a sin and evil to commit murder, which is the unjust taking of a human being's life.
Okay, is the
Oh,
termination
see,
of
well,
it?
see,
well,
you wanna-
your loaded language.
All right,
Your
bro.
this presuppose. He's gonna run away. Watch. It is gonna
Yeah, 'cause you won't let
This
me
is
talk.
this is presupposing. I need you to show me when the scriptures
I
where
can't.
the death of a fetus is considered the unjustified killing of a person.
Dalton, you really don't have to mute him, though.
Bro, like seriously, bro, have a conversation.
Like seriously,
Okay.
bro, answer the question.
What do you think
Oh.
I'm trying to do every time you interrupt?
You're not. You're presupposing again. You're saying, well,
because you won't let me.
here.
You are doing that, Hutu.
Let's do it by premise.
You-
Let's do this by premise. Premise one, premise
Oh
two.
my-
What's
okay,
your-
so now you're
what's
gonna
premise
take
one?
over, right?
What's
Yeah,
premise
you're-
one?
It's a waste
What's
of time
premise
talking
one?
to you. It's a waste
What's
of time
premise
talking.
one?
No, you have an
ahead.
invalid argument, Hutu.
He ran away.
The,
Can we get
the
some-
problem.
Can we
the
get some
problem,
track stars in the
Hutu,
comment section, everybody?
is that you are literally making the assumption that modern day understanding of the word murder is the same as biblical times. And we have given you absolute evidence that it clearly was not, because they gave us a different punishment for a crime, for the exact same crime, that you would consider them the same thing. But it's very clear that the Israelites did not think that way. You cannot presuppose modern definitions into an ancient people group. That is just anti-intellectual.
So just to be clear, everyone, the question is, what does the Bible say about the termination of a fetus? And when you presuppose that the termination of a fetus is murder, and therefore when the Bible says murder is wrong, therefore the Bible says abortion is wrong. No, you need to justify from the Bible that the termination of a fetus is murder in the eyes of the Bible.
And I'll give you an example too that's found in the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery did not apply to men of that same way. As long as that woman was not kept by another man, he could sleep with and marry. Well, the term is marry. He could take whatever woman he want. He could have multiple wives, and that was considered okay. But you would consider that adultery in modern day times.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on to the next guest, I'm going to read some two super chats. And at Camille Gregor with the £2. Hello, Governor. Glory to Duncan, the fountain of living ass water. I'm not the fountain of living ass water. That would be the Christians coming in giving their absolute ass water apologetics. And then at Steve Gear with the $5, as a name for your acolytes, how about Dunkin's Donuts? We already have a name for the Dunkin's Donuts is probably taken already, I think. by a big company. So we're going with the Duncanites. That seems to be the best possibility so far. All right, we're gonna bring up the next guest, Black Israelite Beta. Black Israelite Beta, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I'm a fully grown man.
Okay, question number 2,
Years.
are you a Bible believer?
I'm a Christian.
So do you believe in the Bible?
What other book makes a Christian? It's the Bible.
It's just a simple yes or no.
Yes.
All right. Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you actually read?
I've read the Bible enough to answer your questions.
All right. That doesn't tell me anything. Anyways, so how much of the Bible? We're talking 50%, 75%? What are we doing here?
Enough to answer your questions, brother.
Which is?
He
Any
must be
question you bring
so
on the
much
table?
fun at the DMV.
Yeah.
I heard you asking the question about abortion.
Well,
and
you
if the
don't
Bible
get
is-
to you don't get to have a conversation with me until we get through the 4 questions, the 4 preliminary questions. So how much of the Bible have you read? Don't give me something vague.
Like I reiterate, but enough to answer your question.
Which is what? That doesn't tell me anything. Which is what?
Yeah, any question you throw to me, just any question, brother.
Okay,
How
I'll
much of it
assume
have you read yourself?
I'll assume you've only read 10% of it. All right. Question number 4, what are your pronouns?
I'm a man. I told you. I said I'm a man.
That doesn't tell me your pronouns though.
What do you mean by pronouns? I don't understand. Can you explain?
Pronouns are words like he, him, she, her, they, them. Which one of these do you go by?
Oh, okay. Are you a native English speaker?
Yeah. And in my as a native English
Okay,
speaker,
so-
we have men who go by we have men that go by he, him. We also have men that go by they, them. That's pretty typical for men around here. So which one?
Or Black Israelite. Well,
So
do you know what a
in
neo
your
pronoun
traditional
is? Do you,
English-
Black Israelite. Do you
Sister,
know what a
please,
neo?
can I answer his question, please?
If I'm saying something, we have people that also use neo pronouns. Do you know what a neo pronoun is?
Don't know.
Okay, so you don't seem to know English as well as we do. Neo pronouns are also valid forms of these expressions as well.
So what pronouns do you prefer to go by?
I'd rather you communicate to me. I'd rather communicate to you in traditional English. And traditional
Well,
English.
I don't care
addresses
about what's
man
traditional.
as
Well,
he.
just he, him.
Okay.
Is that it?
Just so
He,
I can
him?
understand you. I'm not a
Like-
native speaker, so I can only speak
Are,
to you. To
do you
the
go
much-
by? Do you go by he, him? Is that what you said?
I don't know what it means. I'm a man.
You don't know what
I don't know
you
much
don't
of
know, you
English
don't
to.
you don't know what the words.
I don't
he
know
and
if he
him
knows
mean?
enough English to have the or they
Yeah,
they
I know what he,
she.
him. I know what
it-
he, him means in constructing
So
sentences. I know what
so
it
when
means.
when people refer to you in the third person, do they call you he, him, or do they call you they, them, or she, her?
Okay, so when you're making sentences and you're referring to a male man, you call a male man he.
Well,
or you can call him
I-
him, depending
I
on
know-
the
A male
context of the
man.
sentence.
I know a lot of male men and
I
male
know.
women.
I have a friend who's male, and he goes by and they go by they, them. So I don't just assume. And also, if you want to get to the actual conversation at hand, you have to come on, just answer the fucking question, BIP.
Okay,
So what
this
is-
friend of yours, is he an individual or a group of persons?
they.
Well,
they.
they.
No, I mean this.
In
You
Eng-
said a friend
in
of
Eng-
yours.
In
You say
English,
friends.
in the English language, the word they can be used for multiple people and singular individuals.
No, not can be. They simply means a plural.
No. So in the English language, since the 1300s,
Are you a traditional English speaker?
well, traditional would be the 1300s, correct? Like in the English
Traditional
language,
means the basic use of language, the basic use of the words.
yeah, so in the English language, even traditional English language, going back to the 1300s, we have used the word "they" for both plural individuals and also for singular individuals.
Okay, can you show me any book, any written English book that refers to a single male in the terms using "they" to refer to a single male? Do you have any? Shakespeare, anyone? Pull up any book of writing.
Let's
Any of
see.
your books.
I would suggest reading on the Oxford English Dictionary's a brief history of the singular they.
Can you show me any work of literature, Shakespeare, anyone that refers to a singular male in plural context, please?
Here.
Dalton, I think we should just move on.
Oh, I'm not gonna move on until this idiot just answers
No,
the
you can
question.
show.
You don't have to
it,
insult me.
show
Listen,
it, show
brother,
it
you don't have
after.
to insult me, okay? You don't have to
You're
do that,
insulting
please.
yourself by this
How am I
basic grammar.
insulting you? I'm only
Because-
asking you to speak to me in the traditional
Here,
English
do you
language that everyone understands.
do you accept the Oxford English Dictionary as a valid source?
Oxford English language as a valid source is not the determinant for English language. I simply will tell you, please address me as a
Black
man.
Israelite. We've been using they as a singular form.
Okay, I don't care for
forever.
all these things you're saying. Just
You don't.
We're
care for
showing it to you.
I am
Look
a
at
man.
the screen.
If you can call me black,
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit if you're a man.
call me my name,
I
Black.
didn't ask for your gender. I asked for your
I don't care
pronoun.
for all these things. You're not going to go.
Listen, black Israelite.
We go on with the conversation.
We will not move on until you answer me what your pronouns are.
I am a man. What part do you understand?
I didn't. Man is not a pronoun. What part of that do you not understand? That's a man
then
is a
pronoun.
man is a noun. So
You want
what
me
are
to
your
speak,
pronouns?
or you want to keep muting me? Do you
I
want me
will-
to answer you, or you want to keep muting
if you
me?
answer me what your pronouns are.
So when we're making a sentence, I'm going to address you in the context.
What are your pronouns?
Use he in the right context and him in the right context. Okay.
Are you? Do
So I
you
don't
go
know
by
what,
he?
anything
do you-
outside of this. I don't know where
the
you're.
right context is dependent upon who's using the word, because guess what, as I'm showing you
The
on
right
the screen,
context is using pronouns.
as I'm showing you on the screen, the singular they is also a correct usage of the word they.
I'm not interested
sorry,
in whatever you're showing me. I'm interested in the conversation.
we're not okay. Listen, I'll give you one last chance to tell me your pronouns, or I'm just gonna move on.
What are your pronouns? You.
Bye. If you're gonna be a stubborn ass, I'll treat you like a stubborn ass and put you.
Geoffrey Saucer, late 1300s, the Canterbury Tales, the Partners' Tales, written circa 1386 to 39, because I wasn't going to give him the information. And whose fighteth him out of switchblame, they will come up. This is a singular use of the pronoun they. You're welcome.
Yep. It's 1375. But the Oxford English Dictionary traces the singular they to the 1375, where it appears in the medieval romance William and the Werewolf.
John Wycliffe Bible, late 1300s, Wycliffe New Testament, circa 1382. An echo on in their craft is Ouija.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
If you cannot answer all four of my preliminary questions, you don't get to talk to me. It's as simple as that. Let that be a lesson to everyone who's sitting in the request box right now. All right. Real quick, I'm going to read one more super chat, and then we'll move on to the next guest. At Musical Monkey for you with the $5. Any suggestions for resources / books, etc. on the seventh ecumenical councils? On the 7 ecumenical councils, thank you for what you do. Hashtag rock hard for Doug, hashtag sinfully wet for Sharon, hashtag whores for life. So, Musical Monkeys, I don't have a specific book that I know of which is not going to be Catholic or Orthodox. That's going to be about the 7 ecumenical councils. If you want to know, if you want a really good book though, that at least in part gives you an explanation on like the origin of the Bible, Dr. Dan McClellan's book, The Bible Says So, is a good source. But I don't know of any specific text that covers the 2nd ecumenical councils. But Musical Monkeys, if you message me on Discord, I will go back later and find you a valid, critical book that talks about the 7 ecumenical councils. All right. Mayo, Black Israelite Beta is like, you're going to be last after like the next 4 guests. So I hope you're willing to wait. I'm only going to bring you back up. And when I do bring you back up, you better give me your pronouns. So Mayo, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you actually read?
I would say between 40 to 60%.
All right. See, BIB, how easy that was. And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
BIB, let Mayo be your example to you. This is an honest interlocutor so far. All right, Mayo, I'm Dalton the Bible guy. Which one of the 6 points would you like to discuss?
I would like to discuss the last two.
All
I
right,
think
which-
the last two kind of cross each other out because it says the Bible is not anti-abortion. So you believe the Bible stands for and is okay with abortion.
It's neither
Is that what that
pro-abortion.
No.
It's neither pro-abortion nor anti-abortion. It doesn't have anything to say about abortion.
Okay. Because I was gonna say because that again I probably read it wrong and probably took it in wrong, but it says the Bible is not anti-abortion. So then I'm like, okay, then you guys believe it is for abortion, and then I was like, okay, if you guys believe it's for abortion, then the Bible is not a good source of morals. I'm like, okay, so then being
Well,
Well,
so I got it-
you
I
would
got
you
it
would have
mixed
to
up.
substantiate that being pro-abortion or not really pro-abortion or the allowance of abortion would be immoral and substantiate that because I'm assuming you get your morals from God.
yeah.
Yes.
So 2 points.
So you
One-
can't substantiate that claim.
Yeah. So 2 points.
Not
One,
in your worldview. We could if in our the opposite in our worldview.
So 2 points. 1, the Bible is neutral on abortion, and 2, there's nothing immoral about abortion.
Okay, see, that's where I disagree because the word fetus actually wasn't created or invented back then. So therefore, that's why it was not used in the Bible.
But
Well,
it doesn't talk
well-
about
And number
abortions at
two,
all.
It talks about miscarriage though, which would imply either an embryo or a fetus. It does
right.
use that term, and it does say that in Exodus 21 that it is not a crime when people who are
Well,
fighting.
it's not murder.
It's not a murder. Excuse me. So it's a. When people who are fighting injure a pregnant woman so that there's a miscarriage and yet no further harm follows, the one responsible shall be fined. So it's not saying that it's a crime like murder. It's saying that it's a property crime because that's what it would have been evaluated as during this time period.
Okay. And also, back then, they just understood and knew that it was a human being and it was a precious
Substantiate
life
that.
in the womb.
You'll need to substantiate that.
They just knew that, so they didn't think of it.
They
They
wouldn't
didn't
use the term.
dehumanize the baby in the
Well,
womb. That's what I'm trying to say.
No.
People
so
are now
ancient-
dehumanizing it, calling it a
here,
fetus, calling it a
Mayo,
couple cells, and
Mayo. I'm going to need you to substantiate that ancient peoples thought of fetuses in the womb as being living beings, as being living souls, because I happen to know as an individual who used to practice Judaism that within the Israelite culture, especially in the Bible, prior to first breath, the fetus is not considered a nefesh chaya, a living soul.
Not only that, did you listen to what I said, Mayo?
okay, then why does God say that he knitted you in your mother's womb?
That
And he
just
knew
means
you
that,
before
that, ju- that
you were even knitted.
that only tells me two things. One, that God is the one who fashions the body, and two, that he has foreknowledge of what Jeremiah will become. Because remember, he said that to Jeremiah. He's not saying that about everyone. Now, that doesn't tell me though whether or not Jeremiah as a fetus in the womb would be considered a living soul.
Yeah.
I just
Hey,
want to know why you guys are so hell bent on killing babies. I'm sorry.
I'm not. Whoa,
not.
who?
Bullshit, you're not.
No one here is pro killing babies. I don't. Fetuses are not babies. You can sit here all day and like morally to do some intuition pumping and make the assumption that a fetus is a baby. But first and foremost, I give no moral consideration to anything prior to 24 weeks when it doesn't yet have any amount of sentience. And after 24 weeks, the only forms of abortion I'm okay with are the ones that don't result in the death of the fetus. Now,
And
can you
Mayo, Mayo, and why I don't really give a shit is because if you actually look at reality, black women in this country are suffering at like 3 times the weight of white women through pregnancy, like mortality rates. We see that women 6 months after having a child enter into poverty at much higher rates. So I think it's like double the rates. This has nothing to do with the Bible, but I'm just saying that your stance is not pro-life. Your stance is pro-forced birth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you able to substantiate from the Bible that
Keep
there's
muting
anything
me.
wrong with abortion? Well, when Ashlyn and I are talking and you keep trying to interject when we're not finished, yes, I'm going to keep muting you. So now that I'm finished asking my question, then you can talk. So are you able to substantiate from the Bible that there's anything wrong with abortion? I'm done talking.
I know. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think my answer here. Okay, can you ask it in a different way? I'm trying to.
Is there anything in the Bible that would tell me that there's anything wrong with abortion?
All life is precious, whether it's in the womb or whether it's out of the womb.
So prove to me that according to the Bible, the fetus in the womb is considered a living soul.
Hey, Dalton, stop brushing your teeth. All life is precious, including that bacteria in your mouth.
Okay, so what is the difference between a baby that's born
In
3 hours? That's
in reality,
that's in the womb for 3 hours before it's born.
But that's
What
not
is the difference between a baby that's in the womb an hour before it's born to an hour after?
No
Wait,
one.
wait,
You want to make this conversation
Hey, hold
about
on. I'm
abortion
asking-
so badly.
Everyone wait.
Answer your
Everyone wait.
question.
Everyone wait. Everyone wait. I need to ask a question, a clarifying question to Mayo. Do we mean in the Bible or in reality? What's the difference between a baby after it's born versus 3 hours before it's born? In the Bible, well, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Okay, I'm not speaking Bible right now.
Okay,
How about that?
Well, this
what
isn't.
is
This channel
Okay,
isn't
hey,
an abortion debate.
Can I speak?
No, Mayo, shut the fuck up. This isn't an abortion debate channel. I don't care. This is a Bible debate channel.
Yeah, we're asking like in the Bible. Now, if you're asking me about from the perspective of the Bible, the difference between a baby that's been alive for out of the womb for 3 hours and a fetus that's in the womb prior to is that it has not yet received the breath of life, and therefore, according to Genesis 2:7, isn't considered a living soul.
Okay, so in my stance in the Bible, God gives you the breath of life as He knits you in the womb.
Hey, what's the? Is there
citation?
There's a book of Mayo in the Bible? I wasn't aware that there was a book all about your fucking opinions.
Yeah.
What verse?
Show me where in the Bible it says that ensoulment happens like prior to like first breath.
Genesis, when He breathed life into Adam.
When does a baby first take breath according to the Israelites? Are you breathing air in the womb?
No, but that doesn't matter. You're still
Adam,
alive.
It does matter.
Adam
Yes, okay,
was
then
in a womb.
how are you kicking in the womb?
Adam was in a womb? Where the fuck was this in Genesis?
How are you kicking and moving in the womb if you're not alive?
Well, that's not. Well, that's just called the ancients would have called this the quickening. But if you would have asked it, like, why are you aware of, like, for example, what the you know what the Talmud is, right? Mayo?
No.
The Talmud is the collection of Jewish writings pertaining to Jewish law, where they debate and talk about the Bible and they give like declarations. And in the Talmud, this Jewish writings which pertains to the law of Moses, a baby isn't considered a living being until till the first time it breathes. Now, if you want to ask questions about, well, why is it kicking then? Well, that's not a question for the Bible, because the Bible doesn't say jack shit on this. But the Bible is very clear that according to Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, it's not until an individual takes their first breath that they are becoming a living soul, which is why the death of the fetus in the womb in Exodus 21 verse 22 is not considered murder. It's a property crime, which is why you get fined.
No, you're alive, kicking in the womb, plain and simple.
Scientifically speaking,
Whether
yes, you
you're
are
breathing,
alive.
whether you're breathing or getting the
Just
oxygen
nah, bro.
from the umbilical cord.
Mayo. I'll ask you the same question I asked my other guest, Mayo. According to the Torah, the law of Moses, what's the penalty for murder?
Murder, I guess.
Well,
The
not
penalty
murder.
for murder is murder. They're both unjust.
You were put to death for murder.
No, you don't. When the state kills you, that's not murder.
It's murder.
That's just that's an execution. That's capital punishment. That's not murder. But you're right that if you kill someone unjustly, according to the law of Moses, the punishment is that you're going to be put to death. Now, my question is, if you perform an action that results in the termination of a fetus in the womb, according to the law of Moses, what's the prescribed penalty?
Execution.
Nope.
Nope.
Here. Read here. I got this here. Read the verse right here. Read it for us. What does it say? Read it out loud. Here, I'll read it if you won't read it. When men strive together and hurt a woman with child, so that there is a miscarriage. What's a miscarriage?
When the baby is gone in the womb.
Oh yeah. So
Someone going in and killing it.
So two men are striving,
The needle.
and they hurt a woman who is with child. So they accidentally like maybe they bump into the woman
With
or they
child,
punch
which is
her.
alive.
Well, we're not going to insinuate anything by the text that's not there. So that there is a miscarriage, and yet no harm follows. So the fetus in the womb is dead, but yet no harm follows, meaning there's no harm follows to the woman. The one who hurt her shall be fined, according to the woman's husband shall lay upon him, and he shall pay at the judge's determined. So, according to the Torah, what's the penalty for performing an action that results in the death of a fetus?
Do 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 do. No 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 no.
If the husband wants to put the person to death, then that's his.
Where's
What
that?
the fuck
Where-
is that?
That's fine.
It's a
Shall be
fine.
fined
Do you know what a fine is? Do you know what a fine is?
Shall be fined according to the woman's husband. So whatever.
So Ashlyn, last time when you got a driver, when you got a ticket, did they put you to death? Was that what the fine was? That you got put to death for speeding?
I narrowly escaped with my good looks and charm.
Yeah. So fun fact, Mayo, being fined is not the same thing as being executed. Being fined is is monetary compensation for a crime that's committed.
Hey, Mayo, I have a question for you.
Why you think that the baby is not alive when it's
Mayo, I have a question for you. How many pregnancies generally?
May I add?
What percentage of like natural pregnancies end in miscarriage on their own?
I don't know percentages.
It's like 25%. So God is the biggest fucking murderers of babies on this planet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
right.
can you
When Planned Parenthood
substantiate?
killed millions of babies.
Now, can you
Yeah,
substantiate?
God's murdered more. He flooded.
Can you substantiate from the Bible that the fetus in the womb is considered a living soul? Book,
Exactly
chapter,
why.
and verse.
Because if you go before and after, you'll understand why he
Book,
did it.
chapter, and
Because
verse.
we are sinful.
Book, chapter, and verse. Book, chapter, and verse, Mayo. Where does the Bible say that a fetus in the womb is considered a living soul?
You guys just won't understand because you don't have Christ.
No,
in you.
it's
You
because
won't.
we don't understand because we've actually read the text.
Again, here you go.
I don't care
Beauty,
about
you know
I don't care whether or not you think that I can't understand
done.
because I don't have Jeebus and I don't have the decoder ring of the Holy Spirit. You need to be able to. Oh, they ran away. Can we get some
Yeah, I
runners
still think
in the comment section, everyone? Again,
if
second runner.
if abortion is so bad, why did God design women 25% of the time to have miscarriages So that means that God designed murder, like built-in murder.
That does seem to be the case. Before we move on to the next guest, hopefully we won't get any more runners today. We'll have some people that actually want to like look at what the Bible actually says. We're gonna at Joshua Juno's Boy Toy with the $10. First caller came in acting like a prick. Does Justin have a script for that one, you guys? LOL. Dude unironically thought saying the Gospels was enough to prove the resurrection. Yeah, I mean, what they are interpreting as a script is that we actually just know what the fuck we're talking about, and they don't. Which is why none of these people are able. So far, we've had two people that want to talk about abortion in the Bible, and they're not able to make their argument from the Bible because, like I've already said, the Bible has nothing. It doesn't say anything for or against abortion. Yeah, LLC. I see you're in the box, but guess what? You get to wait like everyone else.
You would think that, and weren't they just up here? You would think that God would write clear enough that like if it was so fucking bad, instead of writing about all the slavery and genocide, he'd just be like, "Thou shalt not have abortion." Like simple, wrap it up, easy. But he doesn't.
At Duke of Shatska with the £2, Imaman is a traditional neo pronoun. Imaman? Is that like an African pronoun that I'm not?
I don't think so, Dalton. That might not be appropriate to say.
Oh, I'm a man. I'm a man is what it is. I'm a man is a traditional neo pronoun. All right. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, I got it now. Thank you for that. And one last super chat before we move on to the next guest. At Von Doodle with the one. Actually, so that isn't pounds. This is pounds. So what the hell is this currency right here? I'll have to figure that out later. And then at Von Doodle with the $1.99
Euros. I'm pretty
Euro.
sure.
Oh,
is it
it's a
euros?
euro because it looks like an E, so I'll remember that. Okay, £1.99. Don't black Israelites come from the moon? Their arguments are definitely over the moon in a bad way. But no, I don't. Listen, out of all the people that I talk to about the Bible on TikTok, the ones who twist the Bible more than anyone else is not even going to be regular Christians. It's going to be Black Hebrew Israelites. They twist the Bible more than any like online TikTok, Christian YouTube TikToker I talk to.
Which is saying something.
Yeah.
Confused. Because Christians, whoa.
All right. A Kevlar 27. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old? Where'd they go? Oh, I could have swore I pushed accept. There we go. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, I am.
Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you read?
50%.
All right. And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right. Akev, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Which of the 6 points would you like to discuss?
Really going to go to the anti-abortion one. And then if we can get past that or through that, then we would go to the Messiah next.
Are you going to be able to biblically substantiate your point?
Yeah, because I even want to use your verse still first, if you don't mind bringing it up, your background.
Sure.
Just to go through a few things.
Sure. Let's see. Exodus 21 verse 22.
Yes. So the first thing would be the first part, really, because I've overheard you say you don't have to repeat it so many times. But men strive together. So you finally did get to that point a little bit about what that means. But that's 2 men fighting amongst themselves or exerting energy. So like they're wrestling with each other. Mm-hmm. So is there an intention from them to hurt or to take that baby and have a miscarriage in the mother's womb?
No, it's completely
Implied
accidental.
is not. Right. Is abortion completely accidental?
Yes. Oh no, it's not. But that's
I
irrelevant.
think
Right.
you're
So
about to walk into the point, Kev.
so again, this verse actually does not, and I know the point is that the Bible doesn't say anything about abortion. I get that's your point. What I'm trying to say is this verse does not say that the Bible says abortion should only be a fine because the baby doesn't have that value because
No,
it's not an human,
we
as you
don't
guys
we
have been
don't make
saying.
that claim at Kev. We make the claim that that fetuses aren't evaluated in the same way, that they are essentially a man's property, and that's what's being shown by this text. In fact, that's what
Yeah.
we've said. We've said periodically that the Bible has zero stance on abortion. That is what we've said.
Okay,
Now,
so you keep on going to modern.
accidental homicide is also receives capital punishment in the Torah.
Right. No, I get that. Now, you keep on bringing up the modern terms of fetus, which I know the other guest brought up the fact that that word wasn't available back then because that wasn't something that they thought, because it's implied because there was none of those words in that way. They didn't have stages of life. It was you're pregnant and then you're not pregnant. And it's shown that not just even through the Bible, but in other things. But for me on this one, the other part, the second at the end, and hurt a woman with child. Does child not show a human aspect?
Is
that not a term that's used for a
Yeah,
human?
it has a human body. It's not a living soul.
Okay, so you're also going back to the Adam first breath situation, correct?
Yep.
Was Adam birthed or was Adam created?
Adam was created.
Right. Was Cain and Abel created or were they birthed?
They were birthed. Does it ever tell us that Cain and Abel were living souls prior to their first breath?
No, but it also doesn't say the first breath was then whenever you become a soul. And neither does it say it in the Bible because Adam and Eve are specifically different than all of us.
Well,
because we were not created
all it tells
from
me,
clay.
all it tells me in the book of Genesis is that Adam didn't become a living soul until first breath.
Okay. So whenever it was also brought up, and you only use Jeremiah about being knitted in the womb, it does also say that in Proverbs. It does also use that in Psalms, that you knew me when you knitted me in the womb. Those all there mean God knows you as a creature of his own image.
God knows the future.
Because,
that's fine. He knows what you will be.
But God also is knitting you in his image. It says that.
Yeah, that's fine. The human body is made to look like Yahweh. Yeah.
So does God not have a soul before he had a breath? We don't know that, right?
Yeah, but it's irrelevant. I mean, God, there's a point where God doesn't have a breath because he's a God.
But that's the thing is that, but that also doesn't mean there's a point whenever he is actually has a soul or not, because he is the beginning, he is the end. He's everlasting. We're created in his image. And because we are being knitted, and it takes a spark, which is now known by science, that there is actually a spark of light.
There's not.
Whenever you actually have that.
That's only in a laboratory setting when you introduce zinc. Zinc into the equation, then it lights up like that. That doesn't happen naturally in the womb.
Okay. Sorry, I digress on that one because I wasn't aware of that. So thank you for letting me know. You know, I'll take your word on that because you're doing a good job on educating on that. But for me, with all that I've known inside the Bible, it shows that God does protect children. This does show that there's
no. So what you're also missing is you're just looking at the English translation. Could you pull up the Hebrew, Dalton, of that Exodus 21 passage and explain the difference between Isha Hara and which is a woman pregnant, and then the changing of the language to the translation, which doesn't exactly mean child. Like the term child.
Oh yeah, the word child's
isn't
not
used.
there. It just says, here, I'll pull it up actually. Yeah, good point. I didn't even bother to look at the Hebrew.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure enough, it says that the Isha Hara, the woman, the pregnant woman.
Okay, so child not in the original text, it just says pregnant woman.
Yeah, it's not there. I pulled up the Hebrew and looked at it before I was saying anything because I think that's what you're getting caught up on.
But again, I can also not get caught up on it. I can actually go into what would be and I know this is going to probably open up a hot topic, but common sense would say the woman's not going to be pregnant with a dog. The woman's not going to be pregnant with
she's
bacteria.
Just pregnant. She's
the
pregnant
woman's
with a human, with a human body, right. But it's not a living soul.
Yeah, and that's like the whole fundamental argument of this conversation is would they consider a fetus to be the same value as a child, and we would say no, given all the other passages surrounding laws concerning capital murder.
Right, including the fact that if a woman that is actually pregnant with a child, there's now 2 homicides that are being proven, not just one.
Not in the Bible, though.
No, that's U.S. law. That's not Pentateuch law.
All because you're saying that on verse 23, which you also leave out what verse 24 or what verse 25 says.
It doesn't have a stance on abortion. I don't know how clear that is. It's because there's not very much on it because they don't have this understanding.
Verses 23 through 24 pertains to the woman, not to the fetus.
But it does pertain to verse 22. That's
to
why.
The woman.
So again, if he actually does want to do a fine, the fine can also still be to those things, because that's why I never defined what it was.
When it says if any harm follows, this isn't harm to the fetus, this is harm to the woman, because in the verse prior to, we see that there is a miscarriage and yet no harm follows. What does that mean?
Right, okay.
The harm is to the woman.
Unless you want to say a miscarriage is not any harm, which I don't think you would want to argue that position. Sure, go for it.
No, that would be a losing argument altogether, because miscarriage means harm.
Well, to you.
Harm to what?
But to her, that's
to the woman.
No, but I'm saying whenever you said if I wanted to
what I'm saying
fight
is
the Bible miscarriage, what would be the harm? Because if to you that means why would it even say if there's no harm anyway? A miscarriage to you means there's no. I'm sorry, but whenever you do that, it brings up a fact about morality value or human value of that.
I mean, I don't value fetuses prior to 24 weeks because they don't have sentience. But the Bible doesn't talk about any of that. It just makes it very clear that the death of a fetus, the accidental death of a fetus, doesn't deserve capital punishment. You just pay a fine because it's not the killing of a person according to the Bible. It's just a property crime.
So you wouldn't have any mourning or any type of issue prior to 26 weeks if you, for example, your significant other, 24, sorry. Your significant other.
Did I want it? Did we want it or did we not want it? Because if I want it, then it's not that I'm mourning a person that dies, mourning like what I wanted for the future.
But what are you wanting for the future from that?
Eventually a baby.
I'll even give it something that doesn't have any value. The word that.
Eventually I would want, if I'm wanting it, I'm wanting a baby.
At Kevlar, do you grant licenses to 14-year-olds?
No.
Why not? It's going to happen in the future.
Right, but also I'm not granting a license to say that it's alive or not. It's alive whenever it has its own heartbeat, which happens.
I don't care
so
if it's alive.
You do draw distinctions between past, present, and future. Cool. We've established that.
But I also do draw distinctions between the fact of what is actually...
Here, let me tell you this.
Sorry.
The fetus in the womb is a human, and it's a living human. I just don't give a shit about that until it's a sentient living human. Prior to 24 weeks, if it dies, I don't care. After 24 weeks, any kind of abortion that occurs needs to be a non-lethal abortion, like a hysterectomy abortion or an induction abortion, which results in the fetus being alive, but the pregnancy being terminated prior to. So I don't give a shit about like fetuses prior to sentience because no harm is being is happening to the fetus. It doesn't experience anything.
So again, because I want to get the definition of abortion from you.
This isn't an abortion debate. This is a Bible debate.
I know, but he's talking about that in that way. I just wanted to know the definition of abortion from him.
The termination of a pregnancy.
Okay. So not the termination of the life in the pregnancy, but the termination of the pregnancy itself. That's why you use that term. So meaning if they did hysterectomy, the baby could be put inside an incubator and still be alive.
After 24 weeks,
okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Now,
a lot of people don't do that. They don't make that distinction. So
yeah. But
Hey,
the
I appreciate
Bible
that.
doesn't say anything for or against abortion. Like, we cannot make arguments for or against abortion based on the Bible.
So in contextual sense, you are right, but in the fact of whenever you become a Christian and when you believe in Christ and how it says to protect, again,
There are
says,
Christians that are
do not let anybody
pro-choice.
hinder the children from coming to me.
They're not children.
Whenever it says,
Fetuses aren't children. And in that context,
I know we're going back to
that was children outside of the womb who walked up to Jesus and wanted to like receive blessings from him. That wasn't fetuses. That's the context of that Bible passage.
So whenever it asks you to choose life as well, are you trying to say that does not mean the life of that human that's inside the Bible?
That was Yahweh. That was Yahweh speaking to people outside of the womb, telling them to obey the Torah, which is life. That's Deuteronomy 2:31. This day I put before you life and death, blessing and curse, and so choose life. He's speaking to moral agents, living beings who are born, telling them to observe the Torah because that's life.
Okay. And then still going biblically, because I'll do this, I believe the Bible actually is anti-abortion for one other reason, because he also gives us the commandment, the original one, to populate the earth.
Well, actually, he gives that to Adam and Eve.
Which inherently means it's actually ours as well. Because if you're going to sit there and say...
Where does it say that?
So if you're going to say we have to inherently go by the Levitical law and by the law of Moses to go and appropriate the world. He also gave us the ultimate commission to go make disciples.
No,
where did he say all the people of the world? He told Adam and Eve to do that.
He said, go and make disciples of all nations. He doesn't say go and make more babies. If anything, Paul, the only thing that says about procreation in the New Testament really is Paul saying that it's better for you not to get married and not have children.
Correct, but also whenever he goes ahead and after Adam and Eve tells Abraham, your offspring will be as great as the stars in the sky,
which was fulfilled
about the sands of the sea.
That was fulfilled in Deuteronomy.
Not only this, Jesus tells you to become a eunuch if you can bear it.
What verse is that in?
Matthew 19. After he changes the laws on, well, he doesn't really change them; he adds to them. It's laws concerning adultery or sexual immorality in marriage, and then it goes on to talk about. Hold on, I can pull it up if you'd like.
Just asking for the sauce, just like you guys ask from us.
No, you're good.
Now, in regards to God's commandment to Abraham to like that he will like spread and become as numerous as the stars of heaven, that was already fulfilled in the book of Deuteronomy. So that has nothing to do with you.
So the disciples said to him, if such the case of a man with his wife is better not to marry. But he said to him, not everyone can accept this teaching, but to whom it is given, for there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by other. I don't really like this terminology. Very sorry. And there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of kingdom of heaven. Let anyone accept this who can. Sorry, guys, for the terminology. I know it's not really appropriate in modern times, but that's just what the text says.
No, right. Okay. Well, we definitely disagree. I definitely disagree with you, but that doesn't mean that you can't respectfully say, understood.
I mean, that's just what Jesus says. I mean, fuck me for listening to Jesus.
No. Gotcha. And like I said, if we can move on from that to the one that I think is a little bit easier for me to say when it says that Jesus was not the Messiah.
Oh, sure. I love that topic. It's my favorite topic to talk about. I don't think Jesus was Messiah because he didn't fulfill any prophecies.
Okay, why are you saying he didn't fulfill any prophecies?
Because I've never been presented with a messianic prophecy in the Old Testament that Jesus actually fulfilled. Every time the Christians do, it's always taken out of context or mistranslated in order to make it look like it's about Jesus. But if you think you have one, I'd love to talk about it.
So Malachi is not one that he actually fulfills?
Which verse in Malachi?
The final verse? No, I'm kidding. I don't know if it's the final verse. Give me a second. I got to really go back in there and find
it. Is it the messenger one? Behold, I send my messenger to prepare the way. Well, in order for Jesus to fulfill that, you'd have to like prove that he actually was the messenger.
No. So again, it says, but again, 5. It says, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes.
Oh yeah, that hasn't happened yet. Elijah
will turn the hearts to the parents to their children. So with that, again, the dreadful day of the Lord was actually when Jesus was on earth. He was the dreadful day of the Lord because he was actually showing
Elijah
Elijah was actually John the Baptist. That was actually Matthew.
John the Baptist is John the Baptist, not Elijah. Nowhere in the text of Malachi does it ever say that Elijah actually isn't Elijah.
Oh, no. You'll actually not have to go to Malachi. You have to go back to Matthew.
That presupposes that Matthew's theology is correct, but I don't have any good reason to believe that John the Baptist was actually Elijah. When Malachi says that Elijah will come, I interpret that plainly to mean that Elijah himself will return because he went into heaven, so naturally he would return one day because he never died.
Right, but he did return during the transfiguration to say hi as Peter and them slapped their heads to the ground and said, let me build tabernacles in a crazily weird way of doing that. Like they really need to have like a campground out there.
When Elijah appeared on the Mount of Transfiguration, did he turn the hearts of the fathers to the sons? Did he prepare?
No, but when you actually read when Jesus replied to them on the fact that they said in verse 10, why then did the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first? And Jesus replies from his own mouth, to be sure, Elijah comes and will restore all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come and they did not recognize him, but they have done everything that they wished.
Why should I believe Matthew's gospel when it says that John the Baptist was Elijah, as opposed to just the text being about Elijah?
Do you believe anything of the actual New Testament?
No, I mean, this is just a spiritual, this is spiritualizing what the prophets said. I can make the claim that anyone who precedes me is actually Elijah. That doesn't mean they are. Unless the Hebrew Bible ever tells me that when it says Elijah will come, it's not referring to the literal Elijah. I have no reason to believe that any other person other than Elijah is Elijah.
So when you say the Hebrew Bible, you don't go past the first 5 books then, do you?
The Hebrew Bible is the entirety of the Tanakh, the Torah, the prophets, and the writings.
Okay. So again, but if you're saying the writings, are we talking about the Gospels or no?
No. The writings are like the Psalms. Okay. Now, when I say Hebrew Bible, I just mean what you would call the Old Testament.
Okay. Thank you. I just was making sure about which one we were talking about there. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to get around this because, again, like I said, I've only had about 50% of the Bible that I really understand all the way.
Do you have any prophecies that Jesus fulfilled that doesn't require you to spiritualize the text, but that Jesus literally fulfills it?
Well, again, healing people over and over again. He said he would do that.
When does the prophet say this?
He wrote in on but he also wrote in on the donkey. But that was actually prophesized.
Did you read all of Zechariah 9:9?
He wrote it on a donkey or 2 donkeys?
Is that all the prophet says?
There was a donkey and a colt.
Here.
Yes, and he wrote in on the colt.
No, he wrote it on both of them.
Let's see if Jesus actually fulfilled Zechariah 9 through 10. Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter Jerusalem. Lo, your king comes to you. You're going to have trouble with that right there. Triumphant and victorious is he, humble and riding on an ass, on a colt the foal of an ass. So why is he triumphant and victorious? Because I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim. Really, it says he will in the Hebrew. He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea, from the river to the ends of the earth. None of that. All Jesus did was ride in Jerusalem on a donkey, but he wasn't a king, and he didn't cut off the chariot from Ephraim or the war horse from Jerusalem, and he didn't do any of the things here in Zechariah 9:10. This is a, pun intended, half-assed fulfillment.
The other donkey was actually Elijah, someone in the YouTube chat said.
Wow. That's all I got to say on that one. That's a wow moment on that for them doing that. No, again, I truly reading that, it does to me say that he did what he was going to do because, again, the people reacted in that way. because with
when did Jesus
with
cut
singing
off
the
the
song,
when did Jesus cut off the war horse from Ephraim in the chariot? When did he do that? That's why the king is victorious when
but
he
again,
rides
those are
into
not.
Jerusalem.
But as you said that everything else is spiritual on that one, this is actually metaphorical. It's not physical.
Okay, do you have
So
anything that's
again,
not
he's
like?
still the donkey was, but there's still
So
metaphorical
he's
things
it's a
that are
literal
said.
donkey, but he's a metaphorical king, and he metaphorically cuts off the war horse from Ephraim. Well, then guess what? I can just make the claim about anyone who rides into Jerusalem on a donkey. I can actually take it one step further. I can say the donkey's metaphorical for like humility. So when my rabbi friend walks into Jerusalem humble and humility, he's fulfilling the prophecy. Is that really convincing?
Wait. Can it be Elias? Because he's been to Jerusalem. He was probably humble.
Well, he's not. He's not a Davidic heir.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't know that. He could be.
He's from Bethlehem.
So again, on this,
That's true.
I know that I believe that he is the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. I do know
But
that because it
can you
says in the Bible.
Can you
don't believe that.
substantiate? Can you substantiate? Because like if I make the claim that King Charles of England is the king, I can substantiate that. Are you going to be able to actually substantiate that Jesus is actually a king, or that he's a king in the same way?
Not at my current level of knowledge.
Because there's a group of Jews known as Mashiachist within Chabad Lubavitch who believe that their late rabbi, the Rebbe Menachem Mendel Schneerson, was the Messiah, and they call him Melech Mashiach, King Messiah. Jesus is about as much a king as he is, as far as like the date is concerned.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about on that one. All I know is I know what I've read inside the Bible. I know what I've read.
I know what I've read on Chabad Mashiachist websites. They say that that the Rebbe is the king.
Yep. So sorry to say I don't have enough knowledge to be able to come over and really give you more contextual on that one.
You've been really honest and a really respectful guest, so we do appreciate that.
Best guest we've had today.
So Kevlar, sorry.
Yeah, it's Kevlar. I mean, it's a fun term. It's AI Kevlar, not AI like artificial intelligence. It's artificially intoxicated.
Oh,
okay.
So
like it.
It's a good play on words. So,
do you have any prophecies that Jesus did fulfill that aren't spiritual or metaphorical that we can actually like demonstrate that he actually did fulfill that could not be about anyone else at all?
Right now, at this point in time, no, I do not. I'd have to take some more time to really look into it, research it, and figure that out.
All right. Well, as it currently stands, I'm still not convinced that Jesus was the Messiah.
That's fine. I figured once you started doing that, I don't think I could have actually been able to persuade you at this point. So,
yeah.
But
if
one of these days you'll see that light.
If there is a real Messiah, you won't need to convince anyone. It'll be plainly obvious because there will be world peace. The temple will be rebuilt, and the knowledge of God will cover the earth like water covers the sea. Like it won't be up for debate.
The alarming things about that are actually all you're talking about is in Revelation, and that's not because of the Christ coming back. That's because of the Antichrist persuading people on that. So just recommend when you look at that, a little bit as well, what you just said about the rebuilding of the temple.
I don't think
is the precursor for the recoming of the Antichrist. So
I don't believe that's what Revelation's. The book of Revelation is not about the future.
Revelation. This shall. What is it? Soon to pass. Come soon to pass.
These are about the things which must shortly come to pass. But let me guess. Shortly doesn't mean shortly.
Well, I can always use the wonderful phrase that a day to God is 1,000 years to us. So therefore, shortly could be 1,000.
One of the
10,000 years. So
one of the oldest forms of cope in the world. Yeah.
So Jesus was actually dead for 2.5 thousand years.
He wasn't dead for 3 days. He was dead for 3,000 years.
Yeah, right. I know. I get that. So, but I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
Hopefully I can come back another time and have more time to talk.
Yeah.
And maybe more information. So, thank you.
Honestly, W.D. Kevlar for being cordial, which is more than any of our guests today have been. Before we move on to the next guest, I'm going to read some super chats. At Duke Shaska with the €2. Hey Brits, no comment on Geoffrey Chaucer? ? I'm sure that's a European inside joke. I don't know who Geoffrey Chaucer is. But you know, to all my British followers, what about that? Take that. I don't know. And then at Godwin7 with a $1.99, a donation for the Living Ass Water Ministries. We have been single-handedly like filtering all this ass water out for you guys. At Steve Gear with the $5, I think mayo was left out at room temp for too long. Maybe.
No, what it was is the oil didn't emulsify properly with the egg yolk and the. Okay, that was too much cooking stuff.
Okay, yeah, you're.
It's a separated mayo.
All right, yeah. Okay, we're gonna bring Tess up now. Tess, I'm gonna ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
I don't know, but I think they're looking at us. Sorry, they're looking at us. No, okay, the eye. Oh, on the YouTube, it looks like they're loading.
No, they're still loading in.
I see an eye, and it's looking at me.
Well, Tess, it doesn't look like you're able to load in, so I guess we're gonna bring up the next guest. Black Israelite Beta, are you gonna be able to answer for us what your pronouns are this time?
Who are you talking to? Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, like I told you, I'm a man. You can address me with he or him.
Nope. Oh, he or him? That's what you go by? All right.
You can address me with he or him. That's
all right.
That's a man's
You get a gold star. You passed 5th kindergarten.
There we go. Finally.
I'm so proud of you.
All right.
The use of English never changed.
So well, no, you don't know. Let's not pretend like you know English better than us. Like, let's not play that game now.
Yeah,
Black
so
Israelite Beta.
I'm surprised you, the natives.
Black Israelite Beta. So which one of the 6 points here would you like to discuss with us?
All the things you've been saying here are all interesting in their understanding. And if I could take them one after the other. But for now, I'd like to speak about what the last speaker just, commented on, which is Bible. You said Jesus was not the Messiah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus was the Messiah because he didn't fulfill any prophecies.
Okay, I respect that view of yours and that opinion of yours. But what's left there is for us to see if the scriptures agree with you or not.
Sure. Can you point to me a passage from the Hebrew Bible that is a prophecy about the Messiah that Jesus actually fulfilled and that the authors of the New Testament aren't taking out of context?
Okay. Sorry, you're already subjecting the conversation by saying it's taken out of context. It's not for you to determine.
Yeah. Well,
you can make a position.
It is. Yeah. It is
you don't decide. You don't determine.
As the reader, it's my job to determine whether or not the authors of the New Testament
and determine what is out of context.
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
You're not the authority to determine what is out.
If you just chill the fuck out, we'll get to that in a second. Stop crying. We can have an adult conversation. Now, that's I'll be clear. It's my determination from reading the text that the authors of the New Testament are taking the Old Testament out of context, and I'm willing to demonstrate that through like actual like deliberation of what the Bible in the Hebrew Bible actually says. Are you willing to have that conversation, or are you just going to bitch some more? Because I don't need you here. I can just
to have the conversation. If your mod can stop muting me, I'm willing to have the conversation.
I will. I'd
like to see something clear.
I would love to if you can have an adult conversation. I won't.
I'm going to respond.
Do you realize how few? I didn't mute the last guest at all. because he was willing to have an adult conversation with me. So let's see if you can do the same thing. So, are there any?
Can you keep an adult conversation to yourself?
I would love to. Now, Black Hebrew Israelite. What passages from the Hebrew?
I'm just Black Israelite.
Whatever.
I'm not Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Christian.
Whatever. I don't care. So what prophecies from the Old Testament did Jesus fulfill? Let's start with just one.
Okay, Isaiah 7:14.
All right.
There are an itinerary of scriptures. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull up Isaiah. I'm going to pull up Isaiah 7:14. Yeah. Let me bring up my Bible here.
Isaiah 7:14.
Yeah, I'm about to pull it up. Just hold on. Isaiah, where are you at? There you are. Isaiah, chapter 7.
It's weird. Mine says the young woman is pregnant or is with child.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a second. All right. All right. Browser on. All right. Let's take a look at the text. It says here, Isaiah 7, verse 14. I'm going to read it for everyone out loud. Lakin yiten Adonai.
What translation are you reading?
I don't care about this translation down here. I'm just going to read the Hebrew. Lakin yiten Adonai hu lakim ot. Therefore, the Lord Himself will give to you a sign. Hine, behold, ha'alma hara. The young woman is pregnant. Veyoledet ben, and will give birth to a son. V'kirat shemo, and she will call his name Immanuel. So yeah, therefore the Lord Himself will give to you a sign. Behold, the young woman is pregnant, and will have a son, and she will call his name Immanuel. How is this about Jesus?
Okay, and my translation here says, and the Lord shall give you a sign. And if it is a sign, it means it's something unusual and something out of the ordinary. If it is a regular human phenomenon,
not really.
It's no sign.
Not really. That's not what sign means.
Can I say something? You asked me a question. Can I respond, please? You asked for adult conversation.
Yeah, I'm just inserting that in there. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, without interrupting. Allow for a response.
Well, I'll interrupt as much as I like, so keep going.
No, you wouldn't interrupt me. Then it's no longer an adult conversation, okay? Now, my translation here says, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son. With emphasis on virgin.
So here's my question:
Where does it say virgin?
So the Hebrew word for virgin.
My translation here.
The Hebrew word for virgin is betula. Where does the Hebrew word betula occur in Isaiah 7:14? I don't care about your translation.
Now the Bible translation. I don't speak Hebrew, so you might want to use that semantics.
Well,
Lady, please, can you not interrupt my conversation, please? I want to talk to one person, please.
I don't give a shit what you want. This isn't your show. I know you need to shut the fuck up. You don't need to tell me what to do. I know I'm a woman, but I don't take shit from men on here.
Nothing to do with your gender. You're just.
I'm gonna keep. Don't worry. Just keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep muting him.
Yeah. What I was just gonna ask you what translation you use. That's all.
Okay. Now I was talking to you, gentlemen, and I said something.
What translation do you use?
I'm not going to respond to her.
No. You will respond to her, or you can go away. That's the rule I'm making right now. You will respond to what Ashlyn said.
No, you wouldn't force.
Shut up. You will. The next.
Who to talk.
Yes. The next thing you better say will better be an answer to what Ashlyn said, or I'm dropping you.
You can run your second.
Bye, bitch. I don't fuck around. Hi, Godless. How you doing?
I don't either. Hi, Godless.
Hi. I use an AI to help me generate like YouTube SEO stuff, like titles and descriptions and everything, and I just really pissed it off.
Oh yeah, what? Do tell.
Okay, so do y'all know the apologist David Wood?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. He recently admitted on a live stream that he committed 2 counts of felony child rape. That in the state of Virginia, where he was sentenced to prison, they do not have a statute of limitations on that. And so I made a video, and I'm gonna release it tomorrow. But I angered Perplexity, because I use Perplexity to use my YouTube data to generate, titles and stuff. And it literally says, I cannot and will not create an SEO content for this video. and I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, did I just offend Perplexity? I feel like I'm on a list now.
Try ChatGPT to see if it works better. But that's so funny. But that's crazy. I can't wait to see that video.
Updated ChatGPT doesn't like when I was talking about children being property in the Bible.
Well, I don't know what is up with y'all's ChatGPT. Mine willing to talk about all kinds of shit.
Oh, I had to fight with mine to have it because I had it look at the Hebrew and it wouldn't call certain things grape. And I'm like, excuse me, with it.
Yeah, someone says, why are you guys using AI? I use AI for like help me find papers. Like AI, I don't know why people are so anti-AI. I'm not, and I'm never gonna be. You're not gonna. It's cat's out of the bag. You're not gonna put the cat back in the bag. It's not gonna happen. It's going to be out there. People who are upset about AI are like the people in medieval times who were upset about the printing press. Like, get over it. Like,
well, a lot of the research too, if you look it up, it throws out like different booleans, and it has a broader search category than like even Google Scholar can, because what Google Scholar is going to do is look for the exact title that you put in, where if you just give a general description of what data you're looking for and you ask for the sources, and if you can't you can pull that up on Google Scholar. That's fine. You don't use what ChatGPT says. You use it as a search engine, and it actually makes a pretty damn good search engine.
Yeah.
Or like TLDR. It's a language model.
Oh yeah, I can feed it PDF files and then like have it summarize them. But yeah, I will ask ChatGPT for papers. So go online and look for papers for me and do the research fast for me. And I can like click on the I always ask it for like what's the one I'm looking for, citations, and I always click on the citations so I can actually go find the papers faster. I don't use it for answers. I use it to help me go and find the answers.
Well, yeah, and for me, I'm using it to figure out what a good title would be for I feed it the entire transcript that I'm working with, and now I've got to actually come up with it on my own because I can't rely on that now.
All right, I'm going to bring up our next guest, Artie Bacon. And then after Artie Bacon, I'll read some more super chats, everybody. Sorry, I forgot to read super chats. Artie Bacon, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Hi, Dalton. And yes, I am at least 18.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I am not.
All right, then I'll skip question 3 and move on to question 4. What are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, Artie, he, him. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. What brings you up to the show?
Hey, Dalton. I thought I'd just pop up while you're waiting for a Christian guest, fill the space a little bit. But I was hoping to discuss a couple verses with you.
Sure.
Mark 7:9-13.
Let me pull it up. Mark 7. Is this the story of the washing of the hands? Let's see.
Corbin.
Okay, yeah. Mark 7:9 through. I'll help go ahead and pull it up on the screen so everyone can see it. It says here, Mark 7, chapter 7, verses 9-13. And he said to them, "You have a fine way of rejecting the commandments of God in order to keep your tradition. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and your mother,' and, quote, 'He who speaks evil of father and mother, let him surely die.' But you say, if a man tells his father or his mother, 'What you would have gained from me is korban,' that is, giving to God, then you no longer permit him to do anything for his father or mother, thus making void the word of God through your tradition, which you hand on, and many such things you do." What's your question about this?
I find it so troublesome, and I guess my question is, why would the authors of Mark actually use these 2 Old Testament commandments, these laws, in relation to something that doesn't really talk about speaking evil about mother and father? How does Corban even relate to?
So the idea in the Torah is that you're supposed to honor your father and mother, and one way in which you do that, you honor your father and mother, is that you have certain bits of your property which, if your mother and father might need, you would usually give that bit of property to them in order to help them out. But some people were using a loophole in Jewish law that said that you can offer up certain bits of your property to the temple as a donation of sorts, and it goes to them at the end of your life, and that's called korban. And if you do that, then no one, according to Jewish law, no one else has the right to use that item, only you, until you're dead, and you can give it to the temple. So by offering as korban, they're using it as a way so that they can keep the item for themselves until a much later time, and that they are not legally obligated to give to anyone else, including their mother and father.
Okay. I guess it's the line after that when he talks about speaking evil or cursing their mother and father, and how that should result in unaliving.
Yeah,
I've heard Justin speak about this.
Yeah, he's just listing off another commandment which correlates to how one should not disrespect and therefore should honor father and mother. The idea of giving korban itself doesn't actually result in you speaking evil necessarily of your father and mother, although I guess if you want to, I mean, a person could end up speaking negatively to their parents, saying, well, no, I could help you, but I'm not going to, because I've offered this to God, and thus disrespecting his parents.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. There is some still disrespect in regards to that, even if you're just not speaking words per se. Okay. And as far
as I know, this idea of korban is not in the Torah of Moses. This is a part of what's called the Torah Sheba'al Peh. That is the oral Torah, the oral tradition that's separate from the 5 books of Moses.
Gotcha. Okay. It just also kind of makes me feel as if the authors were just kind of picking and choosing certain things that may relate with things that Jews in that time were taking in more consideration.
So in first century Judaism, you have the laws that come allegedly from Moses, which are found in the Torah. And then on top of that, you have this other category of law, which are the oral traditions of the Pharisees, what the author here calls the tradition of the elders. And apparently Jesus's gripe against the Pharisees in this passage is that they were doing everything they could to uphold the tradition of the elders, even when that meant that they were not upholding the actual law of God.
Okay. Doesn't this give... or I would think this should give Christians a pause as to whether or not Jesus wanted you to follow the Old Testament law, correct?
Well, yeah. Well, you would think, but they have a whole shit ton of apologetics that they engage in order to attempt to to not have to keep the law of Moses, because they think that New Covenant means you don't have to keep the law of Moses, even though the Gospels never say that. That's only Paul who makes that claim. But yeah, they have all kinds of hoops that they jump through in order to get out of what Jesus actually said.
Yeah. No, I've heard it all. Big old hoops they have. I tie this with Luke 14:26, and I find it contradictory. It's at one point he's telling you to love everything less than God itself to become a disciple, but in this instance, it's you're giving too much to God and not enough to your parents.
Yeah, it's just because
to love them less.
Yeah, it's just because the Korban law wasn't actually a law from God. It was in the eyes of the first century Jews, because they're all laws from humans, but from the perspective of first century Jews, these are not laws from God. These are laws from the elders.
Okay. Gotcha. No, that makes more sense. Thank you. I
All
appreciate you explaining that.
Have a good day, Artie.
Well, thank you as well. Good night.
Before I bring up the next guest, which is going to be a reasonable doubt, I'm going to read some super chats. We got here At Space Lord of 75 with the $4.99, human biology ends more pregnancies early than anything else. Yeah, and if God's the one who designed the human body, then God is responsible for more abortions than any Planned Parenthood has ever done. So, bully on God for being pro-choice, At Space Lord of 75 with the $1.99, baby doesn't emerge alive equals God knew ahead of time. Yeah, God was preemptively knew that child was going to be. Why couldn't you do that to Hitler? I mean, come on, God. Come on, God. You really missed the ball on that one. And that Space Lord of 75 again with the $1.99. Yahweh sucks at knitting. Yeah, because the Bible says, "I knit you in your mother's womb." God is one sucks at knitting. Like, why would you put the recreational area next to the garbage disposal? I mean, it's not a good design. My eyes, primary example, bad design, poor knitting skills. At Godwin 7 with the $4.99. If a baby doesn't emerge alive, it means that God knew this ahead of time and it was never going to be alive. Thus, it wasn't a baby in the womb. I mean, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. Oh, man, it's wild. I'm going to read one more super chat and then we'll move on to Reasonable Doubt as our next guest. And at Sonic Shroom with the $5 Hey, good eye, mate. OMG. People will outnumber stars. There's no chance of them all fitting on Earth. This is true. If we take literally what God says in the book of Genesis, that Abraham's descendants will be more numerous than the stars in heaven, well, scientists estimate that there are close to 200 sextillion stars just in the observable universe. There definitely are never going to be that many humans. We wouldn't be able to fit on the planet. Now, luckily, we know that what this means in the scripture is just that there's going to be a bunch of them. And according to Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 10 to 11, literally just a couple million of them was like the fulfillment of the prophecy, because it says that on this day, y'all are now more numerous than the stars of the heaven. So there's that. All right. Reasonable Doubt. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
I am.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I am not.
Then we'll skip question 3. And question number 4, what are your pronouns?
It's he, him.
All right. Reasonable Doubt, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I'm pretty sure. Have you been up here before?
No, I haven't. But I've listened in on your lives for a bit.
Yeah, I see your name every now and then. I think is what I'm thinking of. What brings you up?
Yeah. Is actually the last guest. Hey y'all, and I was actually talking with John just the other day. I'm a former Christian, and I'm finally sort of like using my voice, jumping into some lives and like debating some theists. I've only been at this 2 days. I've already crossed paths with Darth Dawkins, if you know the name, and I'm just like, oh my. Yeah,
dude, Gary's amazing. He's like the number one. Like he gives he makes more atheists than I think the Bible fucking does.
Yes, I would say yes. Yeah,
he's not even nice to Christians.
Yep, yeah. So I couldn't believe when I saw the name. I thought, is this just the same profile picture? Is this really him? And then as soon as he opened up his mouth, I was like, yep.
Good old Gary.
Yeah. Anyway, so. I won't take much of your time because you probably want to get to some debates, but I wanted to just double check about the Mark passage you just talked about. You kind of got there after I requested up, so sorry if we rehash, but I want to make sure because I was in a debate with another Christian and we were talking about this Mark passage. My reading of it, I want to make sure that I'm understanding this correct, is that, like you said, it's the oral law invented by the elders, and so the tradition of the elders, from what I understand, was relaxing the more brutal requirements of the law of Moses. And so in this passage, Jesus is saying, you're not following the laws of God, where you're supposed to be stoning your sons. you've come up with new rules that allow you to get away with not stoning the sons. Is that's correct, right?
That's partially correct. So amongst the traditions of the elders, so there were two schools of thought, two main schools of thought within first century Pharisaism, and those schools of thought were the school of Hillel and the school of Shammai. Hillel and Shammai were like these two elders that were like they each started their own like school of thought within like Pharisaism. And Shammai's school was extremely stringent. Like they were being extra stringent about all the laws of the Torah. Like for example, the Torah says you're not allowed to like boil a kid in its mother's milk. The school of Shammai takes that even further. You're not even allowed to eat milk and meat together, sort of thing. Now, the school of Hillel, however, they were more liberal, more relaxed with their interpretation of the Torah, which is why, like for example, on the matter of divorce, the school of Shammai said only in adultery are you allowed to divorce your wife. The school of Hillel says you can divorce your wife for any small like infraction from her. And so if you see a passage where the Pharisees are being a bit too liberal, you're probably seeing a shadow of that Hillel school. And if you're seeing him engaging with Pharisees who are super stringent, that's Shammai.
Awesome. Okay, that's fascinating. I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, it is interesting because yeah, it does seem like Jesus is saying to uphold the law of Moses, which he calls the commands of God. And that was kind of the point of the debate, was they're saying, well, these laws of God are not exactly from God. And I was thinking, well, I think he says the exact opposite, does he not? And Jesus calls the commands of Moses the laws of God. So yeah, I thought it was hard to get that point across, basically.
Yeah, I would point them to the fact that if there's a particular law that if you read the Pentateuch, it will say things like, thus saith Yahweh, or thus saith the Lord, and then he gives the declaration on the law. But yeah, absolutely, at least the way that Jesus is presented in the Gospels, at least the synoptic Gospels, he's portrayed as being pro-Torah, but being a little bit, in some aspects, he's anti-tradition. In other ways, he's very pro-tradition. Jesus is usually very pro-Hillel, and in some instance, he's pro-Shammai, the way that it's related in the Gospels. So, for example, his position on divorce was more in accordance with what Shammai would say. But his position on, like, you know, his famous teaching of the two greatest commandments, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And those are the two that the entire Torah stands on. That came from Hillel. Hillel was the first person to say that. So he's just quoting him there. So yeah.
Nice. Can I ask one more very quick question? Unless we don't have time, it's totally good.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this was another point that I got into with another Christian, which was my understanding of Leviticus 25, the rules about the slaves from the foreign nations. When I brought that up, they made the point. They said, well, no, the history of it, we know that even the foreign slaves, they were trying to make the point that, well, they sold themselves into slavery. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think the foreign slaves I don't know that we know anything about whether they did or not. Do you happen to know anything about that?
The text says that when you go out and you buy them from your neighbors, like specifically, here, let me pull it up real quick. It's a Leviticus.
I think it's 25:44, right?
Yep. We go to Leviticus chapter 25. We get to the passages in question. As for your male and female slaves whom you may have, you may buy, so buy them, male and female slaves from among the nations that are around about you. You may also buy from amongst the strangers who sojourn with you. So you're not like, these are not debt servants. These are people that you are purchasing from other people as property. The text is very explicit about that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And they kept saying, well, no, but it doesn't say that those foreign slaves are not selling themselves. It just says you can buy them. So they were trying to interpret it as if that was still some form of debt slavery to excuse it, but I was like, no, that's not in there.
Yeah, I would point out that to them, make sure you point out to them that no, these slaves already have masters in some cases, and the Israelites are buying them from their masters. So it's not
just trading ownership.
Yeah, if it was the slaves selling themselves, the money would go to the person, or the person's paying off their own debt. But in this case, the Israelites are buying the slaves from their other masters. The masters are the one who are getting the payment.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. I just wanted to double check that one because that was on my mind as well.
You said you're new to atheism?
Well, not really new to talking about it. I've been deconverted for quite a while, but kind of just quietly hiding and lurking in the shadows because I'm a creeper.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, welcome up. If you start doing lives, make sure to let us know, and maybe we'll give you a shout out or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I followed you. I already followed John. Actually, the funny part about John is, and I told him this the other day, is that some of his videos are ones that I found, just some years ago, to be honest, where they were some of the ones that were getting me to think and getting me to start really questioning this stuff. So yeah, John.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was a baby, like a little baby atheist, I was coming into my own. I was watching John, and I was watching Matt Dillahunty and the Atheist Experience, and that's where I was watching all of the OG ones. And here we are.
No, I'm the only one who didn't know John.
Ashlyn, you weren't connected to the atheist community at all when you started off.
But yet I've been an atheist technically for a long time now. I just came to I was like, this shit seems weird. God flood the world, sus.
Well, when I was working at not my last job, but the job before that, and I was working in a restaurant, and I was a busboy / dishwasher. I had a lot of free time to listen, and I would listen to the Atheist Experience and Godless Engineer and all these different channels and stuff like that. So it's very surreal to be where I'm at right now. So it's crazy. It
makes me feel really old. It makes me feel really old to be like, I listen to all the OGs: Godless Engineer, Matt Dillahunty,
Christopher Hitchens,
the old guys.
Yeah,
the old guard.
But it just means you're amazing. That's all.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say seasoned. I'm like, yes.
Everybody likes good seasoning.
Yeah, I've received very good tradition. This is the tradition of the elders that I'm all for. But
there you go.
All right.
So I told one of my friends, Dalton, that you were going to be on because they're a huge fan of Forrest, and they started freaking out.
Hell yeah, love that. But anyways, Reasonable Doubt. Thank you for coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much, y'all.
I'm going to read some super chats, and then we'll bring up Bello as our next guest. At Jamming J125 with the $1.99. It's Jesus and 2 donkeys in a trench coat. Rock hard for Duncan. Jesus and 2 donkeys in a trench coat. I swear, sir, we're 2 grown boys. Let us in. That's so funny. And at Connor Runda, hey Connor. Connor's a awesome member of the channel. He does a lot of reviews and stuff. He does a lot of timestamps and stuff. Love Connor. With the $5, hello, fellow Duncanites. Sorry for lack of timestamps. Busy month. Do you have a Discord channel yet? If not, do you plan to? # gay for Dunking, rock hard for Doug, sinfully wet for Sharon. Yeah, Connor, message Ashland, and she'll get you the Discord's still in beta. I'm sure we'll roll it out very soon, but you can message Ashland.
I'm not gonna lie. The last week or so, I wasn't feeling. I know I seem okay on the stream, but it's like that. Plus, tomorrow's a very, very interesting date for me. It's a lot of personal, interpersonal meaning. So, yeah. So I haven't really been on it as I should have. But message me on Discord. If you're in the YouTube chat, I will put my Discord username, so you can just, or anyone that wants to be in the Discord beta. I'm gonna start working on it tomorrow. Just need to get back to it. I'm sorry. That was a long ramble. Sorry, guys.
All right, there you go. And then at NBTNC with the $5, y'all know David Wood is a diagnosed psychopath that admitted to trying to make his own dad go bye-bye forever by beating his head in. Whoa. I wasn't aware of this, but John seems to be aware of this.
Yeah, no, that's what he like built his entire apologetic empire off of. He did one of those walking around talking videos where he's like, I was a depraved psychopath. I nearly tried to kill somebody, and like that's what he built his entire apologetics empire off of. It's like, I'm a psychopath, but Jesus set me right.
Well, that's reassuring. Yeah. Also, do you have your mic on your beanie hat right now? Is that what that is? I love that. It's like watching Broadway. Okay. Bello, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask all of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old? Start getting into a cadence. I'm no Seth Andrews, but, I don't know if Bello is going to be able to load in. Rolling. Well, Bello, sorry, it looks like you didn't make the cut. Try to get some better Wi-Fi or something. Come back up. Uncle Jack, are you? 4 questions for you. Are you at least 18 years old? Uncle Jack, I don't know where you're at or what's going on. You got a lot of background stuff going on. We need you to go to somewhere a bit quieter.
It sounded like we went like back in time and we're in like a vortex.
So, Uncle Jack, are you able to go somewhere quieter so we can have this conversation? I muted you. I need you to mute yourself.
I don't know. Hey, I've never been on a live before, and I didn't know I pushed the button, but that's really cool.
Oh, you didn't mean to come up? All right.
No.
That's fine. You have a lot of background noise. So I guess I'm just going to move on. But thank you for coming up, Uncle Jack. JB, are you at least 18 years old? Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
No.
All right, then I'll skip question 3, go to question 4. What pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
All right, JB, he, him. I'm Dalton Bible Guy. What brings you up?
All right, so reasonable doubt. I'm kind of a new atheist too, and I was listening to one of your lives, and I heard you use the Daniel 5 mentioning Belshazzar as the last king of Babylon, and I was talking to a Christian about it, and he made a pretty good argument for it. I mean, there was some like holes in it, but like I was trying to see if you could explain it better to me.
Yeah, what was his argument?
He said that Belshazzar, the reason why it says Nebuchadnezzar was his father is because it kind of works like the son of David thing, like it's a descendant and not a direct son.
Well, here's the response to that. Here's the response to that. Belshazzar wasn't even a descendant of Nebuchadnezzar, wasn't related to him whatsoever. So here's the line of kings from Nebuchadnezzar to Belshazzar, so you can understand. Well, not Belshazzar because he wasn't actually a king, but we'll get to that in a second. So Nebuchadnezzar's son, who was Amel Marduk, became the king of Babylon after his father. Then Amel Marduk was succeeded not by his son, but he died early and was succeeded by Nebuchadnezzar's son-in-law Nerigalessar. The Nerigalessar's son, Labashi Marduk, became king of Babylon, and Labashi Marduk was overthrown in a coup by Nabonidus. And Nabonidus was the father of Belshazzar. So Belshazzar wasn't even a descendant of Nebuchadnezzar because Nabonidus wasn't part of that Nebuchadnezzar line. He overthrew the line in order to become the final king of Babylon. And Belshazzar wasn't king of Babylon. He was only the vice regent.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. But when I looked it up, like, was Nebuchadnezzar his grandfather? Because that was his his point that he could have been his grandfather and the descendant, but when I looked it up, it said that he could be the grandfather. So I was kind of confused on why it was saying that.
Where do you see that at? Where do you?
I went on ChatGPT.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. If you ask ChatGPT like a historical question like that, make sure that it's giving you sources. Like ask it for where it's getting that information from, because ChatGPT can sometimes pull from Christian apologetic websites and Christian apologetics websites. Well, they say all kinds of crazy shit. That's not true.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So Belshazzar was in no way related to Nebuchadnezzar.
In no way at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy to help.
Another thing that he had apologetics for was Deuteronomy 13. Deuteronomy 22 verses 13 through 17, when it talks about the bleeding cloth thing about the virgin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I always took that, like, because I would watch Atheist Live, I always took that as a like immoral thing, because like the test that you have to take to determine your virginity is like flawed, and I would guess that half of those women would technically die for no reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he said that no, this verse actually is about bearing false witness, and like the man is saying that he's accusing her of, because he hates her after laying with her, he's accusing her of being not a virgin, and then they use that as a test to like prove her innocence.
Yeah, but the problem is that the way that so maybe he's making a false accusation against her, but the way in which she would prove that he's bearing false witness against her is by presenting the sheet with her blood on it, not menstrual blood, with her blood on it. But the fact of the matter is that because all women don't bleed when they have sex for the first time, he could.
And it just cannot be that as well. If you actually read the text, but here is the evidence of and then thou shalt spread out the cloth before the others of the town. The others of the town shall take the man and punish him. If this was like truly about false witness, then that would not be the case. And then because he has slandered, she shall remain his wife. She'll not. If, however, this charge is true, and they go on and give both accounts. This is literally in the NRSVUE. There's a reason it's titled, and I know this isn't actually in the text. It says laws concerning sexual relations. These are, and if you actually read up all of Deuteronomy 22, all of these are, and you keep reading on, this is all about sexual relations. So that one's specific, and then you have the grape cases that are specific. No, these are just laws concerning the sexual relationships of men and women. There's no evidence that is the case. If it was a tale about false witnesses, then you wouldn't expect to see other verses about sexual relations, and you wouldn't expect to see both accounts where they punish the woman and they punish the man.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So, that was all I had, though. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up, JB, and hopefully you can take these arguments back to whoever.
And as a new atheist too, if you do go live, I'll say the same thing to you. We'll try to give you a shout out if you run your own lives. We love hearing new atheist voices. The bigger the community, the more information we can get out there, the more truth there is. It's always nice to have new channels and stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a big fan of all of y'all, and Justin too. I watch y'all lives.
Justin's the GOAT.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day, JB.
You too.
At Martin Papatera with the $10. Hey Dalton, you're doing a fantastic job. Why can't the religious allow women to have a voice? I love your co-host, whose name I haven't mastered. It's Ashland.
It's just Lind. If you can say Lind and you can say Ash, it's Ashland.
It's like Ashland, but Ashland.
It's I always say my mother was still a little drowsy from the epidural.
whose name I haven't mastered, and always good to see the Godless Engineer. The Godless Engineer. Love that. And you remember the first time we ever met, John? I said, "Are you the Godless Engineer?"
I was like, the Godless Engineer? I don't know about all that, but you know.
Hell yeah. I've gotten the Bible guide before. It's nice. Okay. I'm gonna bring up Kurgo. Is bringing it back. Kurgo. I don't know. Kurgo, did you accidentally request up, but you disappeared? I guess. I guess we'll bring up. Where are you? Why are you here? Why are you here? I'm pretty sure that we've had you up here before, but just so I can get a reminder, are you at least 18?
Yeah.
And were you a Bible believer?
No.
All right, and pronouns?
He, him.
All right, why are you here? Welcome back up here. What brings you up?
Hey, so, I was kind of confused. Like, why do Christians think that Jesus is from the Davidic lineage, or that he's like a Levitical priest of Aaron?
Well, they don't think he's the Levitical priest of Aaron. They think he's what's called the Melchizedek priest. So if you read the book of Hebrews, the whole point of the book of Hebrews is saying that the temple system is coming to an end with the Levitical priesthood, and Jesus' priesthood, which is the priesthood of Melchizedek, is a more higher, more exalted priesthood that overshadows the Levitical priesthood. Now, in regards to the King David thing, the reason they believe he's a son of David is because the New Testament makes that claim about him. People refer to Jesus throughout the Gospels as son of David. The author of Romans 1 says that Jesus was made to be of the seed of David according to the flesh. And of course, by calling him Christ, in order to be the Christ, you have to be a descendant of David, because the Christ is the Messiah, and Messiah is the king from the land of King David. So that's why Christians believe that Jesus was a descendant of King David. Now, we don't have any actual good data to support that he was from the line of King David, especially since the two genealogies we have of him contradict each other.
Oh, okay. So what type of things do they say to try to say that he is from the lineage of David?
It's mostly just based on the fact that the Bible makes that, the New Testament makes that claim for him. Like they'll point to the genealogies, although the problem again with the genealogies is that they contradict each other, and they're not really Jesus's genealogies; they're Joseph's genealogies. And according to the Gospels, Jesus wasn't Joseph's son.
A fun tidbit: one of them is cursed.
Oh yeah, that's a whole another problem altogether.
Wait, there's Joseph's genealogies? Can you explain that?
There's two of them.
Yeah, so when you read Matthew chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3, you'll find these genealogies that say that Jesus's ancestry goes back to, in Gospel of Matthew, it goes back to Abraham, and in the Gospel of Luke, it goes back to Adam. But when you go to the end of the genealogy, it gets you to Joseph. But Joseph wasn't actually Jesus' dad, according to the Gospels at least. So, like, they're kind of useless at the end of the day.
So that means there's nothing like in the Old Testament that like points to him.
Well, Jesus isn't in the Old Testament, so no, there's nothing in the Old Testament pointing him as being the son of David. Now, the Old Testament makes the claim that a future descendant of David will come and he will rule the people of Israel, but clearly, I mean, Jesus didn't meet the criteria for to be that descendant of David.
Yeah. So like, what is the descendant of David? So, what is he supposed to do?
Well, according to the prophets, he's supposed to bring world peace, like so that nations will not wage war against nation anymore. He's supposed to build the temple of God on earth and reestablish the Levitical priesthood. He's supposed to usher in the return of all the Israelites from the four corners of the world and make Israel like the highest nation of all nations.
Is he supposed to do that like when he comes back, or?
Well, in the Hebrew Bible, there is no idea about the Messiah coming back, because while Christianity teaches that the Messiah has a first coming and a second coming, the Hebrew Bible knows nothing about two comings of the Messiah. It just says that when he comes, these things will happen, not that when he comes back, because the Hebrew Bible has no conception of a two comings of the Messiah.
Sorry, someone asked in the chat earlier, and I was trying to wait for a good time to impart this.
So the Messiah that the Jews believe in, that they think is coming back, is made up.
The Jewish people today don't believe in a Messiah who's coming back. They believe in a Messiah who is yet to come in the first place.
Oh, okay.
What was that, Ashland?
Yeah, someone just asked for which line was cursed, and it's Matthew 1 through 16, as opposed to the Luke 3:22. It's through King Jeconiah. I was just trying to answer that for someone because they asked.
Yeah, can you tell me about the cursed bloodline thing?
Yeah, in the book of the prophet Jeremiah, it says that one of David's descendants, who was the king, named Jeconiah, it says that no one from who is a descendant of Jeconiah could ever become a king in Israel ever again. So when we get to Matthew chapter 1, and it gives us that genealogy for Jesus and says that he is a descendant of Jeconiah, well, that automatically would disqualify him, because no one from Jeconiah's lineage can be a king of Israel.
And, which verse is that in?
Let me take a look real quick. I believe it is in Jeremiah chapter 22. Yes. And let me pull it up real quick.
It's 22, 24 through 30.
Yeah. Boop, boop. It says here, as I live, says Yahweh, though Coniah, and Coniah here is Jeconiah. Coniah is just short for Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, were the signet upon my right hand, yet I would pluck thee thence. And I will give thee into the hand of them that seek thy life, and into the hand of them whose face thou fearest. What is this? What the fuck is with the thous and these? Wait. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I would tear you off, and give you into the hand of those who seek your life, into the hand of those of whom you are afraid, even into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of the Chaldeans. I will hurl you and the mother who bore you into another country, where you were not born, and there you will die. But to the land to which they will long to return, there they shall not return. Is this man Coniah a despised broken pot, a vessel no one cares for? Why are he and his children hurled into and cast into a land which they do not know? O land, 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 hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh, write this man down as childless, a man who shall not succeed in his days, for none of his offspring shall succeed in sitting on the throne of David and ruling again in Judah. So according to this prophecy, Coniah, none of his descendants can be a king in Israel. And because Jesus, according to the Gospel of Matthew, is a descendant of Jeconiah, he cannot be king in Israel.
Oh, wow. So I'm like, are there like prophecies that he was supposed to fulfill according to the New Testament?
According to the New Testament? Well, the New Testament often like misquotes the Old Testament in order to make it look like Jesus fulfilled prophecy. But if we're talking about actual messianic prophecies in the Old Testament, just the ones I named off. There aren't that many.
Oh, wow. So wait, so okay, so like what did he not fulfill?
He didn't bring peace to the world.
Oh, or yeah.
Yeah, he didn't build the temple.
Not all every Jewish person isn't united in one nation.
Yeah.
Those are the three main ones, but they'll try to argue like the Psalms are prophecy, or that Isaiah 7:14, Isaiah 53, Micah 5:2 are kind of the most common.
Okay, yeah. It's okay. Isn't there a verse? I think in the book of Isaiah about a man being like crucified or something.
No, there is a passage in Isaiah 53 that talks about a person, which in certain Christian translations, it'll say about an individual who was pierced for our transgressions, but the Hebrew word there isn't the word for pierce, which would be the Hebrew word dekar. It's the Hebrew word mecholal, which means simply to be wounded, and the person who's wounded in that passage isn't the Messiah. It's referring to the nation of Israel as a whole being wounded in captivity.
Oh, okay. So that was like the entire nation of Israel.
Not the entire nation, just the righteous remnant that were taken into exile.
Oh, okay. And is that in is that in Proto Isaiah or Deutero?
Deutero Isaiah chapter 53.
And like one is about like the Babylonian exile, and then another is about I don't remember what the other.
Well, yeah, Isaiah 53 is about the Babylonian captivity. But hey, why are you here? Hey, thank you for coming up. I think we're gonna move on, but hey, thank you for your questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good day, bud.
Yeah, sounds like you got a lot of studying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just.
Sorry, my bad. Bye.
Yeah, but good luck to you. It's nice to have you up here, and if you have any other questions, feel free to come back to the channel.
I hate when I think that they're done talking and then they say another thing, accidentally like drop them mid sentence. Hate that shit. Sorry, my bad, bud. Didn't mean to do that. So
I've actually got to go, but it was great. Thank you guys so much for letting me hang out for a little bit, even though I didn't really participate too much.
You're always fine just to hang out, bud. Well, what's just so everyone knows, plug the video for tomorrow again.
Oh yeah. So tomorrow's video on my YouTube channel is going to be exposing David Wood, but not just David Wood, because everybody already knows that he is a child rapist now that he's announced it. But also I'm revealing how Christians rally around people like him and protect him and insulate him from criticism in this particular respect. And so like I've got direct evidence of that. I also on the screen, it's kind of like a mini Bible study, because like there's nothing in Christianity, like as far as what people think of as Christian values, that says that what he did is wrong other than premarital sex. Because like it's like at that time it was pretty standard, one, that you, in order to marry a woman, you graped her, and then they didn't have any like as far as the ages that he's admitted to graping, they would fall in line with like first century Jewish Christian sort of norms for like that's when you'd marry them. So I use the Bible in order to prove that just because he became Christian, that doesn't mean that, you know, Christianity had anything to do necessarily with his reform kind of thing. But so it's kind of it's a really quick deep dive. It's not too long of a video, but it will be premiering tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central.
And
yeah, and if you're not following Godless Engineer on YouTube, what are you doing with your life? Really?
Yeah. And just so we're clear, the video is David Wood exposed, not David's Wood exposed. We're not. This ain't that kind of video.
that would be a different video. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all later.
You too, bud.
Bye, Tom.
Yeah, I forgot to say, everyone, I got a message from Godless Engineer today, asking me to be on. I'm going to be on the line. It looks like I'm going to be on the line on officially. Let me take a look at the message real quick. Right now, it's looking like I'm going to be on the 22nd of December. So make sure that you're tuning in to Skep Talk on the line on December 22nd. I'll make sure to make a little announcement on YouTube and TikTok for everyone to know on the day of, so that you don't forget. But there's that. So right now we don't have any super chats and we don't have any more opposition. We haven't had any opposition for a while today at this point. So, but we have a friendly coming up to hang out. Quantanaut.
Hi, Quantanaut.
I'm opposition now.
Oh no! What?
I'm super religious now.
Oh God!
The tone of your voice sounds so convincing.
Quantum mechanics proves the existence of souls.
Oh no!
Does it? Oh.
Have you
No, I
ever
couldn't keep that up for long.
How many people actually come on your channel and make that argument to you, Gaunt?
I mostly focus on flat earthers, so not too many. It's mostly just the flat earth people.
Man, that is I commend you, because flat earthers are. As anyone who's a longtime listener of the Bible Guide channel knows, that my number one pet peeve in the whole world, the thing that I hate more than anything, are conspiracy theories. So flat earthers are like top of my list.
Why debate them?
Yeah,
I'm
good for
Dalton.
you,
I forgot to tell you, I'm secretly a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, fuck off. No, you're not.
You know what's funny? In those spaces, I'm called like the neutrino kid, because I always bring up this one argument about neutrinos passing through the curvature of the Earth, and it always completely stumps them, because it's an argument that they've never heard before, so it kind of breaks their script.
Right. I mean, I think most actual conversations about the Earth from a scientific perspective are going to be new to the flat earthers, because they don't know jack shit about science. Tally Beck with the $19.99. It makes me so happy to see your channel and lives taking off. Congratulations, Tally. It makes me happy as well. Just a quick reminder, everyone. This is my job now. Like, this is my actual job. I quit my job at the Exxon, and so this is my absolute actual income now. So all these super chats are super appreciated. But we're gonna bring in Echo. Echo.
What's up?
I'm gonna ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1.
Oh crap! You invited me personally. I feel good. You invited me. I didn't even have to request. Thank you. What do you have to say?
I didn't invite you.
I didn't invite you.
For real?
I just had a call. What happened?
Never mind. Never mind. Just go ahead.
Okay. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I'm 19.
Are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
How much of the Bible have you actually read?
I'd probably say like half of the Bible, and I heard the whole Bible.
Dalton, right. Did you have to accept them at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, Echo, you hit the request button.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I hate to tell you that.
It's just that I didn't remember. Sorry.
Okay. And then question number 4. What are your pronouns?
He, him. I'm a Christian male. Yeah.
All right. He, him. All right. Well, welcome to the Bible Guy Show. Echo, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. Which one of the 6 points above my head would you like to discuss?
What's your proof for the Bible's not a good source for morals?
I would say that slavery and misogyny are not good morals, and the Bible supports those things.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Have you read the book of Exodus?
Bible slavery is clearly different from now slavery.
There's only one difference between the slavery of the Bible versus the slavery of like antebellum slavery. Only one difference. You know what that difference is?
Wait. Just because they're different, is slavery, like owning another human at a property, ever good?
That's kind of like a trick question.
No, it's fucking not.
It really isn't.
It's literally the easiest question.
Yeah.
If I say yes, I'm gonna
Quantanaut,
look
is
fucking
owning people as
insane.
property ever good?
No, it's always bad.
Okay, cool. Thank you. See, easy question, Echo.
Easy to answer.
Actually, it's really not. If they're doing it for to learn something, most people became slaves back then to learn other skills like carpentry.
Citation?
Which is pretty.
Yeah, where the fuck did you hear that? No,
Cita-
it's not pretty obvious.
Most of the slaves in the Bible are not people who are like learning a trade or whatever you're saying.
Wait, when they took women slaves to have sex with, was that a trade?
What chapter is that?
That's in Exodus 21. The female slaves do not go out with the male slaves.
Let's look at that. Read it out loud.
Also, it wouldn't really make sense to sell yourself into slavery to learn something, because once you're a slave, you're kind of stuck there, aren't you?
Most people did it back then.
No, they didn't.
That doesn't make any sense.
People would work for people for free. That's slavery. That's
Nope.
literally slavery.
Nope,
Working for someone
that's
for free
that's
is
not
slavery.
that's not literally slavery. Slavery.
An internship is not
no pay.
Is not slavery.
Really?
So
I
Echo.
used to be an intern. I've never been a slave.
Yeah.
Including me because
Echo. A slave is someone who is owned as property by another human being. When for example, when Quantanaut was going as an intern to learn a new trade. Echo, I don't think I was done talking. Now I'm gonna mute you. Anyways, so when Quantanaut became an intern to learn a trade, Quantanaut, were you allowed to leave at any time you wanted to?
I was.
And did the person that was teaching you own you as property?
No, they did not.
All right. Would the person who was teaching you a trade, did they have the authority to beat you so long as you didn't die in 2 or 3 days?
Nope.
Interesting. Could they pass you on to their like children as an inheritance? Well, I guess not, because they didn't own you, did they?
Nope.
So Echo, clearly, that's not the same thing because
I have another one too. What's your evidence for Jesus not rising up from the dead? If you check that too,
pivot.
Are we just pivoting
Yeah,
to a completely different topic now, or what?
Yeah, that's a major pivot.
Are you conceding that?
I was at a major pivot.
Because a pivot is when we were talking about one topic, and you just suddenly go to another one like that. We were not done talking about the Bible not being a good source of morals, because the Bible does support slavery. And do you think slavery is good or bad? Let me be specific.
I never said so.
Here, let me be more specific. Is it good or bad to own a human being as property that you can pass on to your children and that you can beat so long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days? Is that good or bad?
It's bad.
Does the Bible allow you to beat your slaves so long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days?
The Bible doesn't like slavery. It's pretty obvious.
Here we go.
That's not in there.
It's pretty obvious. God doesn't like slavery.
Here.
Never,
read this.
never says not
Echo.
to.
Where's your
Echo.
proof where God
Echo.
says
I
that?
got a verse. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. When a man strikes his slave, male or female.
My screen's frozen.
Okay, here, I'll just read it to you then. So listen. When a man strikes his slave, male or female, with a rod, and the slave dies under his hand, he shall be punished. But if the slave survives a day or two, he is not to be punished, for the slave is his money, that is his property. So the Bible does allow you to have slaves, and it says that you can beat them so long as they don't die after 1 or 2 days. Leviticus chapter 25 says quite specifically in verse 44. As for your male and female slaves, whom you may have, you may buy male and female slaves from among the nations that are round about you. You may also buy from among the strangers who sojourn with you and their families that are with you, whom you have been born in your land, and they may be your property. You may bequeath them to your sons after you to inherit as a possession forever. You may make slaves of them.
I have a question though. Wait, I have a question. Does it say God said this though? Because in the Bible there's a bunch of...
This is God speaking. This whole passage.
Where?
See if I go up to... What verse 1? What does it say?
Where are you pointing at?
Leviticus 25 verse 1. The Lord said to Moses on Mount Sinai. And everything you see in this chapter is God speaking to Moses what Moses is meant to say to the Israelites.
Where does it say the Lord? I really can't see it.
Leviticus chapter 25 verse 1. It says...
Oh, my screen's frozen.
Yeah.
My
Vayidber
screen's
Yahweh.
frozen.
Yeah, I'll just read it to you. Vayidber Yahweh al Moshe, and spoke Yahweh unto Moses, Bahar Sinai lemor, on Mount Sinai, saying, this is Yahweh talking, this is God talking. Everything from this chapter is God talking, which is why in verse, for example, where is it at? In verse 17.
W. Ian Raid.
W-E. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the Ian Raid, guys. You shall not wrong one another, but you shall fear your God, for I am the Lord your God. So this is God speaking. Or verse 38, I am the Lord your God who brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. So when we get to verse 44, it says, as for your male and female slaves whom you may have, this is God speaking.
Reading it.
So God allows for slaves in the Bible. Do you think this is good or bad?
Where does it say God said it though? I'm still
in verse 1. In verse 1.
Verse
Leviticus.
1 where? Pull it up.
Leviticus. We've been all looking at it for the past I don't know how many minutes. You're
my screen.
Look, verse
Or
1.
just text me it.
The Lord said to Moses on Mount Sinai.
What chapter? Let me pull it up on my iPad.
Leviticus 25 verse 1.
Are we like caught in a loop here? I mean,
it's like an echo.
25.
Dude, the whole thing's in quotation marks. If you've ever read it, Echo, if you've actually looked at your text, you should know what Leviticus 25 is about. Like the whole thing
I can't
is in quotations.
I'm not a fucking wasp, bro. I'm not gonna look at stuff through my memory, bro. I'm Alzheimer's, bro. It's hard for me to remember stuff.
Alzheimer's? Not old timers.
I said Alzheimer's. I'm not gonna photograph.
So it's Leviticus 25 verse 1 says the Lord said to Moses.
Slavery is a pretty important moral issue. If you're gonna make up claims on it, then I think you should at least know what the text says, though. That's kind of the point.
So, slavery, good or bad?
Slavery's bad.
Does the Bible allow you to have slaves?
In my moral, but
I'm glad that your moral. I'm glad that your morals are better than the Bible. But yeah, the Bible's not a good source for morals because slavery's not good, and the Bible allows you to have slaves. So, checkmate.
Checkmate there for you. But where's your claim how Jesus did not rise from the dead, even though his tomb is still not there?
Do you concede?
Do
you concede?
Well, I'll check up on that later.
Do you so you just want to leave it?
Sure, we can move on. I'm fine.
Okay.
I think we've eviscerated him enough on
Where's
that.
your claim on how Jesus did not rise from the dead? I want to hear.
Yeah, we have no evidence that he rose from the dead. So it's not that I'm making the positive claim. It's not really that I'm making the positive claim that I know for a fact that Jesus didn't resurrect from the dead. The problem is that the people who are making the claim that he rose from the dead, i.e. Christians, have not yet substantiated this claim.
Actually, his tomb, if you visit it today,
We don't know
you can't see him
what
in there.
tomb.
There's no skeleton.
What we
Which
don't-
one?
We don't know it. We don't know where Jesus' tomb is, or even if there was a tomb. There are tons of tombs in the land of Israel that tourist spots claim was a tomb of Jesus with no evidence. So
Today's Israel is clearly not the same Israel as the Israel in the Bible.
I agree, but the tombs that are in the place where the ancient place of Israel used to be, we have no reason to think that any of those tombs belong to Jesus, and I don't even believe that Jesus of Nazareth was actually placed in a tomb. Like, why should I think he was placed in a tomb?
Because that's what they say in the book.
That's what they say in the Gospels, but the Gospels are not trustworthy sources. Paul, whose works predate the Gospels, never say anything about Jesus being buried in a tomb. And as we know, what was common for crucifixion victims was that they would be thrown in a mass grave. Seems like the tomb story is a later myth about Jesus.
It's somewhere in Palestine.
Wow. That doesn't do anything.
I've got an oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you too.
But what's your proof how Jesus is not?
I don't. The thing is that you don't have any proof that he did resurrect from the dead, which is why until you're able to give me evidence that he did resurrect from the dead, I have no business believing it. That's how that works. The default position is to not believe that something is true until it's demonstrated to be true.
Do you think God is real?
No, but that has nothing to do with any of the 6 points on the board.
It kind of does because God
Even if I
said
believed in a God, I still wouldn't believe in any of these points.
it really will because
I wouldn't. Do you know there are
God
people
said
who
he'll come in physical form.
No, he didn't. The Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, never once said that God would come in physical form.
Not the Reddit atheists tagging me, bro. Let me speak. So basically, he said he'll come in the physical form, and matter cannot create matter.
Okay. I need you to.
That means there's something.
I need you to stop. I need you to stop jumping all over the place and stay on topic. Now, are you able to give me any evidence for Jesus resurrecting from the dead?
No, I can't. No one can.
All right. Then no one is obligated to believe in it until you can give us evidence. So is there another point you want to move to?
Do you believe in God?
No, but even if I did, I still wouldn't believe any of these things. You do realize that there are people called
Why not,
deists
though?
because there's no evidence for any of these points.
There really is.
I heard him make a physics claim.
Matter cannot create itself. That means there's something. That means there's.
So
there we have it.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second because I'm definitely want to get him on that. I could be a deist. A deist is someone who believes in a God, but deists don't believe in these things. So you can believe in God and still think the Bible's not inspired, that Jesus wasn't the Messiah, and that he didn't resurrect from the dead, and that he wasn't God. None of those things are necessary for you to believe in God. Now, in regards to your question about Matt, I want you to ask your Quantanaut, my friend Quantanaut here, who's below you, is an actual physicist.
Hello.
I want you to ask him your question about matter.
Okay. What's your question? Well, what do you think about it?
No, what was your statement about
what's
matter?
Your claim exactly?
Yeah.
Like matter cannot create itself. That God's real. There's something obviously.
Well, matter can definitely create other matter.
How? If there's nothing, there's no starting point. How it created itself? Explain.
I don't think there was a creation.
Then how are we here? There's
Well, there's a
something
few
we
different explanations. One is that the universe could be infinitely old, like it could just keep going back. It could also be
but
cyclic,
you're still yet to
or
debunk
it
my
could have
claim.
emerged
You're
from a
still
timeless
not
past.
debunking my claim.
Here, Echo.
Can-
Quantanaut
Let
is not
them
done.
finish, dude.
Yeah, Quantanaut is not done answering your question. After he gets done answering your question, then you can respond. Go on, Quantanaut.
Yeah, I was just saying that there are a few possible explanations for how the universe came to be like it is now that don't involve a creation.
All right, now you can respond, Echo.
So, you still didn't debunk my claim how matter cannot create itself. There's no starting standpoint.
Did you not? Well, Echo, you weren't listening.
I don't think you heard me then.
I was listening.
We don't
You
believe.
still didn't explain.
I just said, I just said I don't think the universe was created.
Yeah. There was no start.
What start?
There is no start.
There has to be
Exactly,
like a
yeah.
third. There has to be another dimensional creature.
No, why?
It's pretty obvious.
I don't think the word dimension
What do
means
you
what
mean?
I think it means.
There's something has to something has to create something. There is no
So
create.
can you
there
prove
can't-
that?
Nothing cannot create nothing.
Well, we don't
Nothing
think there was.
cannot create something.
We don't think there was ever nothing.
Your
Yeah.
Bible doesn't even teach the creationist nihilo.
No,
As I
don't
said, there
confuse him. He
could have been
doesn't
an
know that
infinite
term.
past. It could have been a cyclic past or a timeless past. Those are like the three options that I know about.
You still can't prove my theory wrong. How
You didn't.
That's-
Okay.
it
first
doesn't
off,
matter.
Don't. First and foremost, don't use the word. Don't use the word theory like you know what it means. Okay. What Quantanaut just said. What Quantanaut just said to you is that we don't think there was a beginning. There was never a point where there was a nothing that became something. There's always been something. Either the universe goes on infinitely into the past, or it's cyclical. Now, because of the fact that
Or there's a timeless past. That one's a bit more counterintuitive, but yeah.
Yeah. Now listen to this. I want you to listen to this simple argument, Echo. All right. Because premise number one, something can't come from nothing. In premise two, there is currently something. Therefore, there was always something and never nothing. The universe, in one way or another, has always existed. Unless you can prove to us that there was a definite beginning where something came from nothing, can you prove that to us? Until you do, the default position is that there was no beginning.
Okay, bet. There's obviously a fourth dimensional being because nothing can't create.
He's a
something.
time being?
What? Wait.
said it.
Yeah.
I just
wait.
said it.
Fourth,
I just
okay.
said
So
there's something.
So we
existing
are.
out of time.
Everybody
Pretty obvious.
is already four-dimensional. Like you don't have to be a god to be four-dimensional. That's just.
I'm saying there's something outside of time.
I'm a fourth dimensional being.
But our universe, yeah, the universe is 4 dimensions. Like that's in the universe. Do you mean fifth dimensional?
It must be a fifth dimensional being. That's what I mean. That's the word. Something
Firstly,
outside of
I
time.
don't grant that there has to be an extra dimension. Secondly, a new spatial dimension doesn't really help with time. That just means that there's a different direction that you can point in that we can't. That doesn't help at all. And then thirdly, even if a god lives in that space, did the god create that space? Like you've just pushed the problem back.
He did because he exists out of time.
The Bible never says that. The Bible never once makes the claim that God exists outside of time.
How do you create something outside of time?
Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
I was kind of speaking when you were speaking. I didn't cut you off. We cut each other off. But yeah.
Echo, the Bible never once claims that God exists outside of time. Can you provide me?
Yeah, he's an omniscient being. The Bible never. Omniscient being will obviously exist out of time. It's pretty obvious.
The Bible never claims that God is omnipresent, omnipotent, or omniscient, or any of the omni properties. Those are post-biblical philosophical innovations that philosophers made after the
That's
Bible was
pretty
already
obvious.
completed. It's not obvious. When the Bible
That's
makes
obvious.
claims about God that absolutely contradict the omniproperty claims, then it's not obvious, and quite the opposite. When the Bible makes it clear that God has to travel from point A to point B in order to learn something, then it's quite obvious that he's not omnipresent.
Echo, in the first book of the Bible, in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, God has to travel down and discover that Adam and Eve are afraid of their own nakedness.
Yeah, in fact he asks them, "Where are you?" God asks Adam and Eve, "Where are you?" Because they're hiding from him. He doesn't know where they're at. That's in the book of Genesis.
Literally did. God knows everything.
No, here, let's take a look at what the Bible actually says. We read Genesis chapter 3. I'm going to pull it up for everyone to read. And we get to the point after they eat from the knowledge, it says here in verse 8, and they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" And he said, "I heard the sound of thee in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself." And then God has to ask, because he doesn't know, he said, "Who told you you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree which I commanded you not to eat?" The man said, "The woman whom thou givest to me to be with me, she gave me the fruit of the tree and I ate." So God doesn't know where Adam and Eve are hiding, which is why he has to ask, "Where are you?" And he also doesn't know how it is they came to have this knowledge, which is why he has to ask, "Who told you you were naked?" He doesn't know these things. He's not omnipresent, nor is he all-knowing, or else he wouldn't have to ask these questions.
Go to Psalm 139.
Sure. Psalm 139. Which verse?
139.14.
1:4.
Yeah.
Psalm 139 verse 14. I praise thee, for thou art fearful and wonderful. Wonderful are thy works. Thou knowest me right well. Okay. And
John 3 and John verse 3.
Wait. Well, what did this verse in Psalm 139 have anything? What did this have to do with God being all-knowing? I read the whole verse.
1:4. I said 1:4. You said 14. You read the
Oh,
wrong
you
verse.
meant 1 through 4?
Yes.
To the choir master, a psalm of David. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. He doesn't inherently know the man.
Thank you for proving our point, Echo.
Yeah. God has to search in order to know things. Thou knowest when I sit down and when I rise up. Thou discernest my thoughts from afar. God has to discern these things. He doesn't inherently know them. He has to search for them. Thou searchest out my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. He has to search and discern. These aren't things that he inherently knows. God has the same type of knowledge that all the gods of the ancient world do. He's got maximum knowledge or greater knowledge than mortals do, but he's not all-knowing.
John 3:20. It says God knows everything.
John 3, verse 20.
Verse 20.
For everyone who does
Is there
evil
a
hates the
lag?
light. I don't know. For everyone who does evil hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his deeds should be exposed. That doesn't mean that has nothing to do with God being all-knowing. Are you just typing into ChatGPT and hoping to find Bible verses?
ChatGPT.
Or Google? Because it's not working.
Google does bring up sources, actually.
The sources that Google is providing for you are ass water. Not very good. None of these verses demonstrate that God is all-knowing. They only demonstrate that at best God has exceptional knowledge, but not that he's all-knowing.
I'm not going to know exact Bible verses. I don't have photographic memory.
You don't have any knowledge in the Bible, it looks like.
Ashley, could you shut the fuck up, please?
Whoa.
We're just looking.
Because
Bye.
she's being annoying. She's giving like some...
Bye, child. You don't get to disrespect women. I hope someone shows your mother that clip. You tiny little prick. Women make them so insecure.
I literally didn't say anything.
You didn't. You didn't say a
Good
damn
Lord.
thing. And
I
he
didn't
just-
say anything.
Yeah, you're not going to disrespect.
You just
any of
turn
my-
around. Like, no, that is what we call insecure children. And they probably aren't old enough to be on here at that point. Their prefrontal like, they're probably old enough as in over 18. But as far as, like, brain development and maturation, I didn't say anything to you, Echo. You just turned around and told me to shut the fuck up for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, he got cooked so bad, absolutely fucking
That he had
roasted.
to turn. So this is what Christianity does to you, is because it's disrespectful and they're ingrained to say that they can't do this to men, so they have to turn around and take their anger out on women for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's not their fault that they don't like you, Echo.
Oh, and I could be mean, and I probably sometimes deserve that with the way that I speak to people, but that was not one of those incidents. So you just look like a major ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, it looks like I'm trying to here 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, not that. Give me a second. I'm trying to work on some. Let's see.
I had an argument that I came up with last night about against God being omniscient. I think it might have gone a bit. It would have gone a bit over that last guest's head, but I would like to just run it regardless.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know what Gödel's incompleteness theorems are?
No.
They are very weird mathematical proofs that show the limitations of mathematical systems capable of algebra as a whole. Namely, one of them states that in any axiomatic system capable of algebra, there will be true statements of which no proof exists. So, if God is all-knowing, then he knows all true facts about all axiomatic systems, including those that don't have a proof. If they don't have a proof, then he doesn't have justification for having that knowledge.
That is gonna, yeah, that
He can't explain why he knows it to be true.
That would be 100% over Echo's. By the way, everyone, that was me. I was setting up something, so
Yeah.
that'll be after the show is about to end. But yeah, that would have went well over Echo's head 100%.
Wouldn't fall within God? It kind of falls within, like, can God make a rock in which he cannot lift, and then the kind of response to that is that that he can only do things logically possible.
But then he could also, then his knowledge would be limited. The idea is that he would know things without knowing why he knows it.
Yeah, I'll
That's interesting. I'll have to think about that one.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a transcript made of what you just said so that I can break it down for my feeble mind to better understand.
Right.
100%. Now, real quick before we end the live,
Gödel's incompleteness theorems are very weird.
I'm gonna see who's live right now that we can send a. Let's take a look. I think we should send a. We're gonna send a raid to Joel Reads, everybody. On YouTube side, I don't know if y'all can y'all hear and see whenever I put like an outro or intro song video.
Where, Dalton?
I guess it's only something that only the YouTube people can see. So the people on TikTok, I'm just going to go ahead and tell all the people on TikTok goodbye. Make sure that y'all go to Joel Reads the Bible and tell them the Bible guy sent you. And for all the people on YouTube, I'm going to have a special outro video playing that will be giving thanks to all the members who are are now members on the YouTube channel.
Dalton,
with our
check your. Oh, sorry. Check your. You know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
I don't like checking it because nothing ever comes of it, and it just seems kind of weird.
The last time there did, and you didn't thank anyone, so.
One time. Here,
It's more than once. It was twice.
I'll check real quick and see if anything comes of it.
We're talking about his PayPal and Cash App because he has those up, and I just want to make sure that people get thanked properly.
One of these days, I'll have it set up to where it'll show up live on the channel, but it doesn't look like I have anything on Cash App and
yeah. And make sure you're
And
liking the YouTube and sharing that out. People on YouTube, go ahead. Make sure before you switch, hit that like button. It really helps the algo.
All right. Goodbye to all everyone on TikTok. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys again on Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Bye. And here for all the people on TikTok, here you go.
Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame. He tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the scars align. Knowledge and thunder